I'm just gonna look pretty, okay. Okay, I gotta do that on my social
Oh, I
media
should
as
share this
well.
on my. Y'all like that shit. I'm so
Hey, Miss
comfortable.
Piccolo, welcome.
Okay, oh. Yeah, just.
Okay.
Uh, oh, B.
See.
Oh, nice. Oh, apparently I started to watch.
Yay! Hi, Oliver.
Yeah, yeah. Hello, random citizen. Hi, Carlos.
Sorry about that.
There he is. Who's the person you can hear?
So you can't hear me.
Testing.
No, hello, hello. Testing. No, can't hear me at all.
I can hear you.
Oh yeah, the person I can hear is me. My audio sounds good though. I was worried.
I can hear.
Testing. Oh, somebody's talking.
Really?
Oh, Jesse. Well, while he fixes his technical difficulties,
Hmm.
hi
Is y'all
everyone.
hearing us? The audience?
I know. Finish the introductions. Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm a voice actress, singer, dancer, cosplayer, convention coordinator. Also, they
Is
can
it
hear
what
me
pays?
because I can hear me on it. Yeah. Today we will be discussing potentially mature topics, and viewer discretion is advised. 13 plus for this. So yeah, watch at your own risk. Welcome to Trash Talk Monday.
We love talking trash. But it's like
Well, it's my
stressful.
first time. I'm generally a nice
Yo,
person. I'm like the type of person who like says something mean and immediately apologizes. So this is gonna be fun.
I'm like the type of person who doesn't give
so you
up.
don't have to apologize to anybody this time.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be so nice.
I
Uh,
don't know if you guys can hear me or not.
well, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Okay, just making sure. Thank you. I was like,
Yeah.
nobody confirmed it or not. Not that I was talking to
So,
nobody.
no. I can hear you.
weird Goku. People on I see the stream and see the like notes and everything. So can
I
y'all?
think in this point it's like a man's opinion
Hello,
doesn't
Dee Dee.
matter. So the
Hello.
less the better.
Alright.
Hello.
So Saki Kitty, would you like to share what our topic today is? Oh, he's so loud. Nobody else can hear him but us. Okay. Okay.
For real. That's funny.
Hi, Dandelion. Hi, Juan. Hi, Dee Dee. Hi, Jackson. I recognize some of y'all from last Saturday night.
Yeah, Dee Dee shows up like in all the streams. Hi, Dee Dee. She supports us.
Dee Dee, you're the real MVP.
My eyes
Nice.
are burning. I don't know why.
Nice. I can't see the chat, so I have no what's going on.
I see the chats a little bit.
I can see it. Well, I've got it up on my phone. But today we're going to be talking about nice guys. Nice guys.
That's a good idea.
How would you guys really define the culture behind nice guys? 'Cause they're not really nice. Saki, no.
No, I had to see something.
Okay.
Sorry. No, yeah. I mean, if a guy has to say that he's
Don't
nice,
leave.
he's not nice.
Don't leave us.
He's not nice at all. I'm a nice guy. I'm like, you don't. I'm smart. I can figure out if you're nice. Not stupid. Should we try to start like the stream again? Or...
Yeah, we can hear Jesse, right?
Yeah, I can hear
No,
Jesse. I don't know. I don't think the audience can hear Jesse. Let me see if I. I see the chats a little bit.
There we go. Okay. All right. Now I can see the chat. Remember, nice guy meant something, but now it's just. I think it always just meant something weird and creepy. I don't think there ever really was such a nice thing.
Okay. So I mean,
Okay.
everybody had like.
I don't know if you guys
Have anyone met a nice girl? You know, like the equivalent to a nice guy, a nice girl.
Yes.
You have. Oh, I want to hear.
So I used to stream like 4 or 5 times a week, like crazy often. And as I started liking followers, and I knew like other streamers who were like bigger than me, like thousands of followers. Plus, I know a decent amount of like voice actors and YouTubers and whatnot. I would have this one girl come into my stream and she'd like message me, like private message me, like, oh my gosh, you're so amazing, you're so pretty, like we're friends now, like it's so amazing, like it's so great, and she'd like donate money to my stream and whatnot, and like be like super nice. I was like, oh, so sweet, like I was so happy to like have like somebody like super nice like that. And then like just one day I was talking about a story where I met one of my YouTuber friends. She's like, oh my gosh, you know this person? Like, if I fly to where you are, can you, like, help me meet them? Like, I want to see them because, like, they're a YouTuber who doesn't show their face. So she was like, I want to know what their face looks like. I want to know their name. I want to know everything about them. Okay.
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 And of course, like, I wanted to respect the privacy of my friend. I didn't want to, like, do that to them.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even going to even ask them for that because, like, that's just, like, a weird thing to ask just in general. And
Yeah, that is a weird thing to ask.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Thank you, Josie.
so,
Like some people have anxiety and some people don't want to show their face to the public. You know, my sister doesn't.
Absolutely, yeah.
If they don't want
like that. It was just his character. He was just having fun with his character. He had no issue like being in public and being with friends and whatnot. He'd make convention appearances while wearing his like character mask and whatnot. He's tons of fun. And like as soon as I told her I wasn't gonna introduce her, she was like, that's the whole reason I was following you, was so you could introduce me. Like, we're friends, and like I want you to introduce me. Like, you're gonna have
Like
to
a
introduce
180.
me to all your like voice actor friends, and like I want you to take me to Funimation and like show me around the studio. And I was like, I can't do that. Like,
So
That's
that's all I
creepy.
want.
What the hell?
I just want to know like everything about
Uh-huh.
you. Show me where you work, and I want to know everything else. Oh my god, that's
and,
stalker.
yeah.
That's like
That's a
say,
stalker. Yeah.
I want to do or follow you wherever you go. It's just like no, you're not trying to be nice. You just using me.
And then she went back on all her donations, because I mean this is over the course of like 2 weeks, so it wasn't like a huge amount of time, but
Well, that's
like
a dick move.
she went back through her donations that she gave to me, and she disputed them with her bank, and she like had all the donations withdrawn, so I got like I had like a negative balance with Twitch for a hot minute until I got enough subscribers and donations to cover. I was like, oh my god, oh no. What
Well,
no?
that's the one thing like I don't like. It's like that's been going on with I think with Twitch. Like some people will donate and they'll donate a lot of money and then they'll like take it back
Wow,
without
I
the.
didn't know that was even happening.
That was a thing that was like somebody was sending like $10,000 or $100,000 to these Twitch girls and then just taking it right back, and then it became such a problem that Twitch actually got involved, and then like I think like the banks and lawyers got involved, and he lost the battle because like, it was a thing that he was just doing to women or mainly Twitch females. I was like, that's fucking crazy.
He
That's a
ended up
dick
having
move.
to like pay out the amount, like
Wow.
even if he couldn't pay it out like outright, he had to pay it over time to the Twitch people. Like the only
Yeah.
people that I would believe if they came into my stream and donated that kind of money, I have one follower who would, and he's a sweetheart. And then Mr. Beast. Like if Mr. Beast came into my channel and donated $10,000, I'm like, oh, okay, sweet.
That's cool. I like that.
Okay, for people out there who are listening, right now, like for some reason, people can't hear Jesse, and we're trying to figure that out right now. That's why
Yeah.
you don't see Jesse right now. We are figuring it out in the process. So just please hang on.
Yeah, we're trying to.
Like a technical difficulty.
Yeah.
He's here. He's in
Okay.
the comments.
Yeah, we can.
You just can't hear him.
Yeah, you just can't hear him, bro.
He's here.
Uh-huh.
But hello, everyone. How about you guys? Like, have you guys had an experience with like a nice guy or a nice girl?
Yes. This is why I have my dreams. I have so many dreams. Oh, do you want to hear
Same.
the first time I got a dick pic?
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, do share.
Okay, so, oh god, this is like terrible. My eyes are itching today, so oh well. So, basically, and this is and the thing is that this guy, I'm not gonna name him because I'm pretty sure he's gonna be embarrassed, but I did block him in all of my social media accounts. But
Yeah.
I knew him in high school, and the messed up part is like he was very sweet. He didn't give off like the creepy vibe. He didn't even look creepy. He looked attractive. But we chilled in high school and we never like dated. So, you know, years later, you know, I was like, hey, I always thought you were cute in high school, and I'm like, yeah, everybody says that. But we're like, hey, let's go ahead and like go on a date. And he was a sweetheart. He bought me flowers. You know, he got me flowers, and we went out, and we went to like a hookup place, which is like you smoke, and you drink. And
Hold on. 1 second. Can
Okay.
y'all hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Jeff.
I know y'all can hear me, but
The audience is what he's asking.
again, can the audience hear me now? Because I can see my volume, like, you know.
Easy Rider.
Oh, nice one, though.
Okay, I hear me now.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Hey.
Okay, so yeah, I figured it out. So we've been having technical difficulties
we
the
can
whole
hear you
day
now.
on everyone's parts. So the reason why you can't see me in the webcam is because I'm sharing the comments with everybody. I guess I could just.
Well, it's hard to read the comments out there. I'm just streaming it. Yeah, I like to see your face.
Yeah, see my ugly.
Yeah, we don't want to see who we're talking to here.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
mean,
there.
I see the comments like when the stream happens. Yeah, he's on. Yay!
Yeah, people are saying they still can't hear me though.
What if they like refresh the stream and see if that works?
Yeah.
That might actually
Well,
work.
some people were saying yes, they can hear me. Some people are saying, oh, we can't hear them.
It could just be Chris fucking with you, though.
That's
Oh, Kitty!
true.
Hello, cat.
Because I'm pretty sure, like, we can't, and it's such a pain in the ass because it doesn't allow. I don't know how you do it to test it. Pretty sure, like, I mean,
Yeah,
I can
hear
hear
the
me. I
background
can
noise.
hear me on the damn stream. I can hear me on the stream. I just listened to the YouTube version. You can hear me on there perfectly fine. You can hear me louder than some other people. I mean, I having a shitload of issues, and like I said, we were all having issues. Like nobody's mics were working at first, and nobody's stuff was
I was
working.
cooking dinner.
You were
I
cooking
was
dinner.
cooking dinner.
You didn't bring us any.
You didn't bring us dinner? What was for
I was
dinner?
so
Okay, yeah. You can
It
hear
was
me now.
hot
You can hear
dog.
me now. So what is
It
up,
was hot
everybody?
dog.
First time commenters to some of the people that are here. Osbaldo, HD is here. This is not HD's first time commenting.
They were chili dogs. They were chili dogs.
What's up, everybody?
I
Sorry.
Hello.
Sorry. So we're talking about nice guys today. So now let me. I didn't listen to half the conversation, but okay. So besides the podcast. So what I was trying to say earlier, besides the podcast, we're not just going to talk about nice guys, the so-called nice guys. We're also going to talk about creepers and a lot of things that plague the community as far as that, but not just guys in general. We're also going to talk about some of the girls, females, girls, whatever, girls that cosplay. Nice girls. The nice girls are the very like the girls that because it's a two-way street. We also have a big announcement to make. I have a big announcement to make today. Towards the end of the podcast, I've only spoken to one person about it, and so I told him not to say anything until the time was right. But we're gonna announce it today. So
I'm excited.
yes.
I like news.
Unfortunately, you're probably not gonna be too excited, Oliver.
No.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah. He's like, oh, now they're gonna fire me on the street.
I'm gonna get paid for
You may be wondering why I've gathered you all here today.
this.
So you're all
I've hired
fired.
assassins to kill you
All
all.
fired.
Okay, so we were talking about nice guys. So a lot of nice guys. One of the things that I've noticed, because I'm not going to say friends. I'm going to say I know a few people that are the so-called nice guys. Like some of the guys that are attracted to a certain individual, and then they'll go out of their way to buy them gifts and they'll follow them everywhere, and then they'll be clingy, and then like whenever this individual they have interest tries to talk to another person, they block them. And
Block them, like cock block them, vag block. What's going on? What type of blocking?
my friend says our friend Black Sonic calls it vag plug.
Bad plug. That's a nice term, I guess. I never heard that.
Yeah, he made it up. He says it in a different way, but I'm trying to avoid cussing so much today. Unlike Saturday, you brought out the hood in me Saturday.
We gave a discussion warning. We gave a warning.
That's right, pussy plug. That's what he fucking calls it.
Pussy plug. Oh.
Pussy plug.
It's called pussy plug. He even
Viewer
commented.
discussion advised.
Yeah, he even commented on there. I was like, of course we were gonna see that. Like, or are we not gonna say it?
So okay, so there's a lot of stories, and I want you, the commenters, the people that are viewing, to share some stories, and then we'll go ahead and read them out loud so people can hear about it. But like, there is one person that I know, because the reason I want to talk about it, because this is still a thing. Like, we've talked about it before on a. So when we used to do the podcast a couple of years ago, we did it pre-recorded. We were recorded at our friend Trunks' house. Saki Kitty was there. Saki Kitty was a part of the stream with Lightsy, and that's the podcast where I had to edit out them talking, like spending, like they spent 20 minutes talking about different types and sizes of penises. Well, I had to edit out 15 minutes
Why would you have to edit that out? I mean,
because it got too vulgar. Like, listen to some of the podcasts, And you're like, damn, this is already pretty bad. And then the worst, it just got progressively worse. And I was just like, whoa,
It just
edit
got
out.
progressively bigger, or like, like, yeah.
So,
Oh my
so
God.
there's an individual. Like we were at my friend's birthday party. It was somebody's birthday party, but it was at my friend's apartment. And our friend, our friend Dee Dee was there, and we asked Dee Dee about a certain individual, about being like he claims to be a nice guy, but he gets really, like, he gets, I guess, impatient and not aggressive, but what's the word I'm looking for? Like, besides impatient, he gets agitated. Yeah,
Oh,
Agitated.
yes,
Irate.
He gets
Yes.
angry. He gets angry.
Frustrated.
He gets angry. He gets frustrated. He gets impatient with because there's this one girl that he was interested in, and he would follow her everywhere, and he would buy her tons of gifts, even though she protested. She still accepted them, and our friend Dee Dee just went off on him. She was like all kinds of name calling and calling him awkward and weird, because he really is like. So I had a discussion with this individual,
What a
Mr.
Oh my
Banana. Mr. Banana. The reason why is
Mr.
because
Mike Banana. Is that the guy? Is that his name?
Mike.
no, don't say the name. Don't say any names. Don't say any names. Don't even say banana.
They call him Banana.
Okay, so we're gonna keep this.
Okay.
We're gonna keep this one. Carlos just posted a comment, but so I had to talk with him. He was talking about this girl that he really liked, and he was talking about her boyfriend because she was in a relationship with somebody, and he was all like, he stole her from me. He took her away from me, and I'm like, dude, it doesn't work like that.
You don't just like put money and expect like a reward.
And he's like, he has a YouTube channel, and I've gotten on his case about, like, he was hitting on a girl once at a convention in Galveston. And there's this girl who was not 18 yet. He was
Oh
trying to
God.
hit on her, and he bought her $300 worth of gifts. He didn't do anything, obviously, but we had told him, no, dude, no.
I mean, the legal age in Texas is 17, but that's still a big oof.
No, not even. Like, your parents have to agree to it.
Your parents have to agree to it. It's not just like 17. It's like you have to be 18 without parental consent, 17 with. That's just something I've had to like personally deal with. Like
And then there's like
the
the
convention.
what was it called, the Romeo and Juliet as well too, if they're both underage, but there's only like 2 years apart. With 17,
Like
you know,
Well, no,
it can't go past
it's 3 years.
21.
It's 3 years
Like,
apart. Actually, it's
Yeah.
3 years apart, and it's to protect the kids in high school that are
Mhm.
18, that are going to school with like 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds.
Yeah.
Because not
Yeah,
like
of course.
some people in high school are still 18 when they graduate. I was 17, so
Same.
okay. Carlos says,
Sorry, excuse me.
Carlos says, I remember when I went to the movies with friends and I sat down and one of my friends said, "Can you sit over there? I want to sit next to her." I didn't want to move because I was comfortable. Okay, hold on. I didn't want to move because I was comfortable, and he kept going. So I called him out inside the theater, and he was just so embarrassed. Sorry, Dee. Sorry, Dee.
I'd be like,
I
man, why don't you
apologize.
just sit
I'll
on
make
the
it
other
up to you,
side?
Dee. I'll give you free Geeks 5 Ever swag. I'll send you a hoodie.
When
When I can afford it.
God. See, simp has to actually mean that you're already involved.
Yo, Katie said something about Hamburglar from
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Katie says, I'm picturing the Hamburglar from McDonald's.
Trying to steal your girl.
Just to steal your girlfriend.
That needs to be a me.
Actually,
Steal your
damn,
girlfriend.
you commented on Facebook. You normally comment on YouTube.
Hmm.
Anyways,
Oh, dude, I don't even have the YouTube comments up. I just have Facebook. Let me pull up the YouTube comments.
no, there's no YouTube comments right now. It's all Facebook.
Oh, okay.
I'll let you know when there's
I was
YouTube
like-
comments. But
I'll pull up YouTube.
so you do occasionally have like the so there seems to be like a lot of guys, not just like the nice guys, like, because I see this a lot, like, I'm a nice guy, and the girls only like to date like assholes and
I guess that's not
douches
true.
and
I don't
cows.
think that's true at all. I mean, it's
And
about exhibiting some type of confidence, and then if you're not confident in it,
Charisma.
yeah, charisma. People see
I
that.
think it's I think it's mainly for me, when it comes to nice guys, is they think that they're going to get the girl no matter what because that's how it's supposed to be. It's just kind of like, well, if I keep being nice to her, if I keep giving her stuff, if I just like throw money, it's going to happen because that's how it's supposed to be. And if they don't do that, then they're total bitches. And I'm like, no, just because you like somebody doesn't necessarily mean that they will like you back, and that doesn't guarantee that the relationship or y'all are compatible, and they put women.
Yeah.
Sometimes I believe like on a pedestal, like, oh, this is what they have to be or should be, and then when that thing or when that image of them gets taken down, they get really upset because it's not what they imagine this person has to be with them, in a sense, like kind of like putting them on a throne, or they're supposed to be this perfect girl, because that has happened to me. They're like, oh, well, I thought you were going to be so nice and date me, and I'm like, no. That's not how it works, and then they're like, well, you're a whore, and I'm like, what the fuck, that just went like 180 real quick just because I won't sleep with you, and then it's so weird, like, you're a whore because I wouldn't sleep with you. That's the reason why. Like, that's a weird choice of words.
That's a
comments. We have some comments that say it's called being interesting. Another one that
Yeah,
says reminds me of the Nice Guy song by Ryan Higa.
Ryan Higa, man, he is an OG YouTuber,
Yeah.
and I love that Nice Guy song he did. Ooh,
That's a
that
pretty
took
funny
me
song.
back.
I have to
That's a
say,
pretty good song.
If you haven't
Chris,
checked it out, you totally should.
like, I have so many nice guy stories. It's not even funny. I got sent dick pics before. This one guy was asking like my boob size, and it was like a friend in high school, and it's so weird because he was asking me these like really inappropriate questions, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna tell you what my boob size is. And then at the same time, he was posting that he was a good Christian guy and going to church, and I'm like, this is just
Oh my god.
that was
No.
it doesn't
weird.
work like that.
It does not work
I'm
like
a
that.
good Christian guy, and then like I have messages saying like, what's your boob size? And I'm like, it's like Jekyll and Hyde over here. It's just like two different people, like good Christian guy asking random high school person that he was interested in, just like, hey, I want to know your tit size because I think you're attractive.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a perfect time for my brother to pop into this podcast. Hi,
Oh.
brother.
Hold on. I'm dedicating this song to all the nice guys.
Yes.
That's right, nice guys. We coming for you.
Oh God, like I've had some pretty bad horror stories myself. Like, cause I usually hang out with a lot of different girl cosplayers, my girlfriend, all that sort of stuff. And like, there's been times where I've had to like tell guys like, hey, dude, like just go away. Like, you just sometimes have to be like, you dude, no, like I'm. and there's been other times. Well, like I don't want like there's some other stories. It's just like a lot of guys at conventions have this idealistic mindset of how they're gonna hook up with somebody at a convention. They're gonna find their true love or some other
They
bullshit.
wake up in the morning and they look in the mirror and they're like, this is the game plan. This is how it's going down. And it all goes to shit.
Hit on the throat and go ask her inappropriate questions, and then she'll fall in love with me.
Yep, or get her drunk at the end of the night after they want to party
Oh my
or something.
gosh,
And,
yes.
oh,
Okay.
God,
You have no
it's
idea
a
how
big old
I
fucking
feel.
mess.
We're getting a lot of comments. We're getting a lot of comments, so let's go ahead and address them once again. Someone says I got called broke because I wouldn't buy this girl food one time back in 2011. Another one says, what do you even do with the boob size? Find some fruit the same size to grope? Another one says, guys send me and Jesse dick pics all the time. That was years ago. I want to cosplay as one of the Ghana funeral dancers. Okay, and here's a good one. This happened too much. Okay. Damn it. I keep scrolling. This happens too much. I think I'll just casually BSing with someone about some random nerdy shit, or worse yet, that I'm actually friends with someone, but then I'm a bitch and a whore when I'm not DTF, down to fuck.
Down to fuck. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Katie. Yes, that's exactly that happens to me. Like if I'm not willing to have sex with them, I am a whore. Okay, sure, all right.
Another comment is, I wouldn't kiss this guy at a con, and he took my custom-made prop and destroyed it.
Oh.
I've actually heard that story. I've heard of that.
Damn.
I've heard of that happening somewhere.
Oh my gosh, custom-made props are so expensive, especially if you make them to scale. Oh my god. They can range from like $200 to like $700. So like whoever you are, I am so sorry.
Oh my! I would have just washed my shit if that has happened, because I have people like take my props and swing them around sometimes, but most of the time they're careful, or sometimes they're like whoa. But if somebody deliberately took my prop and just broke it because I didn't want to kiss them, I would have lost my shit.
Me too. I would have gotten kicked out.
I would have been like,
Jerry. So hold on. Jerry's one of the staff members for Geeks, however. He runs the TikTok division.
TikTok.
Just comment on this thing and we will acknowledge you, Jerry. Because there's already 4 people. It's already
just do it, man.
Like when we add too many people, it's just really difficult to get voices across. So another comment is, nice guys at cons are scary. I got stalked before several times. Another one says, in quotations, dude, when you said let's smash, I assumed you meant Nintendo in the game room because we're in a nerd convention, damn it.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be.
Jesse remembers when people would mess with my props. I was in high school, unsure of the dude's age, but I had spent all that time. I spent all that time I had on it, the prop. Yes, but there are. You have the guys that get angry with you. They're like, "Oh, why are you wasting my time?" Or
yeah, we're just like, "What time? You're the one that put it all into it, expecting something. I was just living life."
Yep.
I mean, we have people that we know who are guilty of. Jerry, comment. Go to the Geeks 5 Facebook page, and you can comment on there, and it will appear in the stream.
I don't know if I should
do that, man.
Just do it,
I don't
man.
know. I have a story. This happened a few years ago. Chris knows about it. Dee Dee knows about it, I believe. But it was an incident that happened a few years ago.
I'll be right back.
That was crazy. That was really. I don't know if I could tell that story.
Oh, come on, you're hyping it up.
Okay.
I know, hyping it up. You gotta do it.
All right. So the story goes is that me and my friends, we go to Rent a Fair, and my friend, I'm not gonna name any names. I'm just gonna probably use like the first initial or something. My friend H, she goes ahead and she says, hey, let's form a group and get everyone to sleep around, or not sleep around, sleep in the area where we can always meet, so like at the campgrounds. And like, okay, we're all gonna meet here, bring your stuff, whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. And she said, go ahead and invite whoever you want. My friend T, she goes ahead, she's like, okay, she shared it on her Facebook, and it was just harmless. It really was harmless. And she shared it, and apparently the guy went ahead and was like, oh, well, I was going to be there, and apparently he had this major crush on me, and he joined on meeting us at the Rent a Fair. I and everybody else were clueless. We didn't know. We knew him, and we're like, he never gets invited to places. We didn't know why he didn't get invited places. Now we know why he doesn't get invited places. But he came. He went ahead, and before I even got there, and it's a running joke within our group now, before I even got there, he was going ahead telling everybody in the campgrounds that I was going to sleep with him tonight. I had no idea that I was going to sleep with him tonight. But that was tonight, apparently. He had in his mind that he got a tent big enough for 2 people. You can actually put like a bed in there, 2 beds. And he's like, yeah, me and her, we have this tent, and we're going to sleep together tonight. And everyone's just like, does she know that? I don't think she knows that. And then
Wow.
I come, and then they're like, no, because she's sharing a tent with another person. You know, they've been doing that for years, so that's perfectly. I don't think she knows. It's like, oh no, that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna sleep together, and it was just weird. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. There were so many other instances that happened within. Throughout the entire time we went, you know, I didn't sleep with him. Obviously, I slept in my own tent.
I would hope not. I would hope not.
And then I was getting stuff right. He was completely rude to everybody else. My friend H, she actually does a lot of cooking at the Ren Fair. She does like breakfast and dinner, and he was just waiting for her to cook. And she's like, "So when are you gonna cook? When are you gonna make breakfast? I want you to make breakfast for me." And she's just like, "What the fuck? You don't tell me to just make breakfast." And then he was going on saying like, "Well, I can't eat alone. Somebody eat with me. Somebody go with me and get some food." And he was just so annoying throughout the entire time. Like people were ready to punch him at that moment. And then we went ahead and then we had to go to the Ren Fair. And we're not going to the Ren Fair yet. We got dressed. And apparently, you know, during the time, I went ahead and split off from the group because I wanted nothing to do with him because he was following me. And then as soon as I split up, you know, he was looking for me. And he was wondering, like, hey, where's Nikki? Oh, I shouldn't say my name. But now it's down. Where am I? And he was angry that I left him and that I was supposed to tell him where I'm going and that I shouldn't be alone.
Wait, why does that sound familiar?
I was older.
Was I there for that?
You were there for that year, but I don't think you knew what was going on.
No, I heard this. I heard this exact same thing happen.
Yeah, this is what happened, and he was mad that I didn't tell him where I was or what I was doing. Then he was angry, and that he says, "Oh, we need to put a leash on her. She needs to know she needs to be with me." Or be with me.
Is it who I think it is? Is it who I think it is?
Yeah, it is.
Mr. doesn't know what deodorant is?
No, I don't think it's that way. That narrows it down. Because there's so many.
Yeah, because you had one that would follow you everywhere and like claim that y'all were a couple and he stunk that's really bad.
That is another story. So
oh my God.
I have so many. So at the end, so this is just the first day of Ren Fair, which was Saturday, and it was coming to an end, and I didn't know what was going on. People told me. And then later on the night, he was getting drunk. He was getting blackout drunk. You know, he was just chugging down any type of alcohol, and then he was being very loud and obnoxious. He was really starting to get annoyed. Everybody was pissed at him because he was just being very rude. And he didn't, in the fair, we share a lot of things. So if you bring food, you bring it for the rest of the group. Or if you're just bringing stuff for yourself, that's fine, but you're not going to get anything from us. You know, you could use some things, but, you know, if you're not going to bring food and not share, you know, whatever. But he was just taking everything. And we had to hide the alcohol at this point. And then this is when stuff started to get really creepy because he kept following me everywhere. And then I had to hide in the van for the rest of the night because I was just so sick and tired of him. The rest of the guys were starting to figuring out. They're like, you know, he's being a creeper to her and following her. And he keeps saying that, like, they're going to sleep together. It was getting really awkward. I didn't want to start anything because we're at the fair and I just wanted to have a good time. And then this shit just fell on me. And one of my friends was ready. Well, two of my friends were ready to like knock the fuck out of him because he was starting to get
let it happen.
Ropey. And I was just like, please get off of me. I just didn't want to start anything. I was just like, please get off of me. Just, you know, just don't touch me. You know, and he was like, why? Why can't I touch you? I was like, because I said so. Like, I have to give a reason of you not touching me. And one of my friends, he was just staring at him. He was like, touch one more hair on her. Watch what happens. But he got so drunk he passed out. And then that's when I finally came back to the campgrounds, in a sense, and because he was just like on the floor, passed out. So everybody was just like, whatever, you know. He was that close to getting his ass
good. He's fine.
beaten, you know. It was crazy after that because I blocked him. He was still trying to like talk to me or figure out what was going on. He didn't understand, and it just got really, really creepy. And ever since then, like, you know, my friend, she did apologize, which I don't think she had nothing to apologize. We had no idea this person was what he was, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That was one instance.
So one of
like
the
at this
comments.
point, it's like,
One of the comments
go
say,
ahead.
one of the comments say, Ren Fair dudes are on a different level, and someone says, I hope someone got his ass kicked out of fair. Another comment is, of drunk and fucked up, and then another comment from Kat says, hellos. One thing I will say, when it comes to going out and drinking and being safe, especially at Ren Fair, try, like at Ren Fair, it's a little more difficult to do this. But at cons, this is like the number one golden rule: is don't ever take like an open drink from anybody.
Yeah.
Unless it's
yeah,
like
that you don't know.
you
exactly.
have to be able to trust them. Like people walk around. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like people have this
Absolutely.
container that they walk around that's already pre-mixed. I mean, I guess that's fine most of the time. But there was I think it was at
That's
Anime
Like,
Austin, or was that Anime North Texas? It was either in Austin or Anime North Texas in Dallas. I'm not too sure.
I mean, I heard some horror stories before.
Well, we were at karaoke for one of these cons, and this guy was giving this girl a drink. And without realizing, I reached my hand out and grabbed it. I'm like, oh, thanks, man, because I was already plastered as it was. So I'm like, thanks, man. He's like, that's for her. And I said, thank you. And the girl was like, it's okay. I didn't want it anyway. So the guy looked upset. I drank it. Next thing, like an hour, like 30 minutes, an hour later, I black out. I don't remember anything. I wake up like death. I feel like death. My body hurts. Everything hurts. I feel sick. I'm like throwing up. I'm like, oh no.
Bro, I think you got roofied.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I was getting to that. I was getting to that. I'm like, and I look at my friend, dude, I think I got roofied. He's like, how do you know? Because I've been roofied before.
But just think, like, if that girl took the drink out, like,
happened before.
at least you knew what was going on, and like.
I didn't know what was
You
going
knew
on.
another-
I just I didn't even know that was the case. I didn't realize that the drink was tainted. I just reached up and grabbed it because I was plastered. I was like, hey, more
The tainted
booze.
tap water.
I don't
That's
even know
it.
I don't even know who it
Now
was.
you
I didn't
wake
even know
up
the
with a little
guy.
bit of a headache, then a girl wake up in a bad situation. Sorry,
Yes.
no offense, Jesse, but
Yep.
you took one for the team, so
Right. No,
you got you.
Yeah,
got
you did,
got
man.
yeah. Oh, I felt
Yeah.
like death the next day. My oh,
And I
it
think they're
was Anime North.
4 hours. It's like, that's why it's really hard.
Not gonna say her name, but the mother of my child was there the following day with me to do a podcast because we did a podcast with the DJ. So it was in Dallas. This was Anime North Texas.
Was it? It wasn't this last year because she didn't go.
No, we haven't done shit
I don't
together
know,
in years.
I've had some pretty bad
Wow.
experiences in Dallas conventions, and it's just
Well,
really
like,
sad
then
that I
she
don't
ran
get
out of
the
three.
I'm
Like,
sorry about
community up there.
people in Dallas conventions. Y'all are just sometimes hard. It's just
Oh no,
y'all are-
no, it was horrible. The next day I'm like, damn it, I should have taken the drink.
I was like,
We had to
I've
drop
been
out
going
of the
to Dallas
cosplay
convention
contest.
for like 10 years, and like I've been to conventions in Louisiana, in Houston. Well, no, I haven't been to one in Houston, but San Antonio, Austin, Galveston, and like just the conventions in the Dallas-Fort Worth area they're intense. There's a lot of people, a lot going on, and like most of the time you don't even just go to like for the convention. You like get a hotel room and like you just party it up with friends. Like you go for the room parties, man.
I mean, every time we go to Dallas, there's always like some sort of like religious protesters there for whatever fucking reason. You know, you're all
Oh,
coming.
yeah, the last time in Fort Worth, yeah.
know that you don't have.
I want to thank everybody that's watching right now. We have 21 viewers, 19 on Facebook, 1 on Twitch, and then 1 on YouTube.
Hey guys,
One,
thank you.
Our 1 viewer on YouTube. Thank you.
Hello, viewer.
The shit that we find on
Not
YouTube.
for me because I haven't cut the shot.
Okay, so I'm looking at some comments,
It's
and
okay.
there is a comment saying, "Can we not say the R word as a joke?" Did we say a rape joke?
Yeah.
We-
No. It was comments. Comments about
It's in the
it.
comments.
Oh,
in the
Which I
comments.
agree. It's not something to joke
Oh,
about.
no
Like,
rape jokes. No rape jokes.
Yeah.
that's right. So I don't know who made the joke. It's kind of hard to scroll up.
Jerry made the joke. Chris made a joke
Come
too.
on, Jerry.
Jerry, you
Come on,
represent the
guys.
brand, damn it.
Come on, guys. Come on. Can't do
Oh
that.
my god.
But I did want to just one of the comments I saw that from Hayden talking about how they dated the nice guy before. They're like, I
Oh,
feel really bad.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was feeling really bad. They didn't want any physical affection that day. Refused him a hug, and he literally screamed at me in front of the entire school. He was well over 6 feet tall, rather muscular, and I was maybe 100 pounds, soaking wet at the time. It's like,
Oh, that's
Dudes
terrifying.
Very.
that is
That's
absolutely
scary.
terrifying. I mean,
Like,
I've
I'm
seen
not
this type of stuff since I was a
That would
kid.
Shit out of me. That's some.
There
Ugh.
for those of you that find that situation like where you're confronted by a guy that's much bigger or taller or whatever, and you're like fun size. We don't like to say
Short. You don't
Short.
say short.
hello, Estelita. Hello, first time commenter, I think.
Yeah, we're doing good.
How are you?
We're
So
doing good.
when you're
Thank you for
fun size
asking.
and you're dealing with Bigfoot, remember there's this anime that we watch. They gave us good advice when you're dealing with that kind of situation. When you're in that whole David versus Goliath situation, you have to stomp them in the nuts.
It's the only way.
Good advice.
It's the only way. You got vulnerable places: the nuts, the throat, and their eyes.
We don't say
So
chibi, we
punch 'em.
say fun size.
Fun size people. Fun size.
Because chibi's an anime term in general where we're geeks. We're not just anime, we're comics, we're video games, we're everything.
I can't hear you. The shins do suck. Yeah, my girlfriend's saying if you kick him in the
Yeah,
shin.
Kick them in the
it's
shin
better.
so
or
bad.
you turn their sack into a speed bag.
Dude, but for real, I had one of the most wholesome moments of my like cosplay career. I went to a convention, I think it was like 2013, and I was standing around like with my
That is
friends
how we met.
just chilling and talking
I didn't even
with
say
them.
anything weird
And
though. You were just
all
mean.
of a sudden, this like girl, because I'm like 22, 23 at the time, and this girl, she couldn't have been more than 15. She walks up to our group and she's like, "Hey sis, I'm sorry I missed you. Like, I went into the dealer's room and I lost you." And I'm like, "Who is this kid? I have no idea who you are."
Who
I
are
just
you?
got your sister. She's like, "Hey sister, let's go to this panel. I really want to go to this panel." And I was like, very confused, but like she was super adamant, and like I've heard in the past, like it was going around during the 2010 era where like
Yeah.
if you are being followed by somebody, find another cosplayer and like get their attention somehow, some way without letting the other person know. So I was like, okay, maybe it's that situation. We go into a panel room, and like I was like, oh wait, hold on, I've got to go to the bathroom, and I guess it was a guy. So she's like, that's a great idea, let's go to the bathroom. So we go into the bathroom, and I was like, hey, are you okay? Like, everything Gucci? And she's like, no, this guy has been stalking me for like the whole convention. My friends bailed on me, and I'm here alone, and I'm 14 waiting for my mom to pick me up. And this guy, I was like, who is this guy? She's like, do you remember that cosplayer that was wearing like that blue cosplay with the white hair? And I was like, dude, he looked like 40. I was like, yes. She's like, it's him. He keeps like trying to talk to me, and like he asked me like if he could like take me back to his hotel room. I was like, oh heck no. I went like mama bear mode. I was like, we going to con ops? We are gonna take this guy down.
Yeah.
And she's like, thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to like interrupt your day. I was like, never be ashamed. Don't be afraid. Like, if you're at a convention and you are in that situation and like you see me, like make a beeline for me, like then I will do the best I can to take a guy down.
Or
Yeah.
or if you happen to
Yeah.
see someone like me or Oliver there, you can always approach us and we'll be like, ¿Qué güey? ¿Tú quién eres?
Get away.
Start talking to them in Spanish all tough. They'll back up because, oh no, cholos.
I mean, I heard
¿Qué
stories.
haces, pendejo?
of women doing that to like men or complete strangers, like, oh hey, I haven't seen you in such a long time. How are you doing? And they just act all friendly with the guy, and the guy's like, why are they being friendly? And then they're like, oh wait, someone's like following them. I mean,
Mhm.
like, this has happened at conventions. It's sad. It's really sad that this does happen, but I mean, we have to. Women have to protect themselves. I mean, even when people ask me like, "Oh, when is it okay for people to go to a convention alone?" And I'm like, "Never. Always have
Never.
somebody with you. No matter what age. Even like for me, I'm like, no, I
and,
always have
and,
somebody."
and that's the thing I hate, and I really hate this, that all you have all these. So one thing about being geeks or nerds or whatever is that there are a lot of us, a lot of people that we know that are into comics, anime, gamers, whatever, that grew up socially awkward, that don't know how to talk to people, like don't know how to talk to other guys or other girls. They weren't taught, or they didn't grow up around, like they were isolated in their school, they were made fun of, or they were bullied, they didn't really get to interact or learn. So you have these people that are like, they don't know how to approach others, and they, like, a lot of them do learn eventually. They're told to stop, don't do that, but they continue to do it, and then they ruin it for other guys, and not just guys, girls too, because that shit pisses me off. Like, because of the nice guy creeper bullshit, now you know how difficult it is for like a guy, especially like a guy like me, or someone like Asian or Jerry, to like, just go up to a girl and just say hi, without, because that runs in our mind like, oh man, I want to go say hi, but I don't want to come off as a creeper. Nah, screw it, I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
And that
And
happens
the
way
first
too much.
course of
That's the real thing.
Yes, oh my gosh. The first course of action should be to find a staff member, but if you can't find a staff member, generally a group of girls will suffice. And like, I went to so many conventions back then. Like, I remember 2012, I went to like at least a convention every single month. So I was like, I met so many people that when she first walked up and she was like, oh hey, I was like, oh okay, she's probably somebody I met in the past, and who are you? Like, I was like, what? And then she's like, big sis, and I was like, I definitely don't know you.
Like, I am not your sister.
But she was
That is
okay. I
pretty
took her
smart
to
to
con
do,
ops
though.
and waited
That's
with
really
her
good.
while her mother, like, she was waiting for her mother, and her mom thanked me, and I was like, oh, this is so wholesome.
Poor girls, like that. I mean, that probably might have destroyed her experience at a con, just because like a fucking 40-year-old was like following her.
Yeah, you have the
Yeah,
weird,
if she ever wants
you have the
to,
creepy
feel free to
photographers.
Oh,
Oh man,
photographers, yeah.
Oh,
I have stories about that too.
me too.
Yeah, I have stories.
as a photographer, that really angers me because
it's not like really bad
I've
stories.
worked as a professional, as I've worked as a professional photographer in like the real world. I've videotaped the vice president. I've done, sports stars, all that sort of stuff. Like, there's a level of professionalism that you have to have. Whether you're taking pictures, from the highest office to like everyday person. Like, you show them respect. You don't violate personal spaces and all that sort of stuff. And to hear these types of stories again and again and again is absolutely really like infuriating, because most of the time, like, the women are uncomfortable identifying the photographers, which is, I understand that, because some of these guys have different connections and know all these different other people, but I really feel that these types of things, in order for them to end, people will have to know who are doing these things.
Yeah, I know this one photographer who goes to a specific body type of cosplayers. There's some photographers, and they'll go to like any body type. They're body positive. They don't care if you're famous or not famous. If they just want to take your pictures, and they just want to have a good time, and that's it. And they respect space. And those photographers are always the best. But there's some out there who, like, if you don't have a certain look or body type, they're like, well, I don't want to, take pictures of this girl because she's not going to be pretty in my photos. I want somebody that's already like perfect body and everything that will do photography. And I actually went to him, and I was dressed up as Miro from Dragon Age 2. And, he was just sitting there, and then he looked bored. So I was like, hey, do you want to take some pictures? Because I actually knew him. And he says, no, I don't want to take pictures. I'm going to head home. I'm not going to do anything. And I'm like, and he had the gear and everything. Like, it wasn't just like a dinky camera. He actually had gear. I was like, okay. He's probably tired. He doesn't want to take pictures. That's fine. I can understand that. I'm not going to, pressure people to take pictures of me. And then, like, I see him on Facebook, and then he's bitching, saying, like, nobody wanted to take pictures with him. And I'm like, I asked you to take pictures, and you said no. Okay, so I guess I don't have the proper body type. I'm short. I'm like squished down. I am on a little bit on the heavier side. But I don't think, like, it's the most terrible thing in the world. I'm trying to lose weight, you sons of bitches. But the fact that he just didn't want to take pictures because probably I'm not like, the body type that he wants, which is the tall, skinny girls, I mean, that kind of pissed me off a bit. I was like, fuck you,
Let's go ahead and address some comments. So, we have one that says, I met a guy once who I thought who was being a nice guy, but turned out to be my best friend in the whole world. I was so traumatized from previous guys that I almost didn't talk to him. Another one says, my dumbass has gone to Dragon Con alone, no regrets. But I also lived by the Agent Muddler philosophy while I was there. Trust no one. And then 2 people were saying, hi, Jesse. What's up, Jesse? To address the trust no one, I don't trust anyone at cons. I don't trust the ATM. I count my money when I withdraw.
I trust more males at conventions. And, that's sad, but it's just like it's just I'm wary. I mean, I have so many horror stories that that one guy that was, he was prosecuted for what he did to his girlfriend. That was a huge thing that happened in the cosplay community. He actually came up behind me and just like bear hugged me.
If it's true, if there's actual, hold on, before you say anything else, if it's true and there's actual evidence and articles stating that he was prosecuted and found guilty of the crime, you can say their name.
Okay, yeah, he was guilty of what he did to his girlfriend, which was disgusting. But at that time,
and those guys are still out there.
It wasn't. We didn't know, but there was rumors going around at that time, especially him faking his way to cosplay and fame. He just bought everything. He didn't make anything. But he gave me. I was just with my friends, and we were just talking and just communicating. He already had beef with me. He already stated. I have like the screenshots of everything of what he said to me. So we were not friends at all. I didn't want nothing to do with this guy. And apparently he went ahead and just like bear hugged me from behind. And I get bear hugged from behind before, but it's usually like people that I know. It's not complete strangers. And the fact that he did that while my friends were around, and I was like, who is this? Because I didn't, like, you can tell who's hugging you, I guess, if that makes sense to anybody. I was like, who is this person? I kind of, like, froze up. I was like, wait, who's that? And I turned around, he's, like, acting all buddy with me, and I'm like, what the hell? And I was just kind of, like, stone, like, frozen for a second of what was going on, and he just, like, took off. I didn't even know what he said. I guess he was, like, on the line. I was like, hey, I haven't seen you. What's up? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wait, what? Okay. And then he just took off. And then I went to my friend. He's like, who is that guy? I was like, I have no idea. He is not my friend. I have no idea who this person is. And it wasn't until like months later there was allegations of what he was doing, and then those were proven to be true, and he got prosecuted. So it was just so weird that this guy he was in a sense sex trafficking his girlfriend. He just like came up behind me. It was just so creepy. It felt disgusting.
Edgar asked if Edgar said a name. It's in the comments. I'm not going to say it though. It is not who you think it is, Edgar. It is actually Hoshi Jackson that we're talking about. And I'll go ahead and say this. We were going to do an interview with him years ago when Geeks 5 ever first started. We were doing an interview with him when Geeks 5 ever first started. We had less than 100 followers on Facebook, and we had like 20 followers on YouTube, and he was such a big attraction for and it would help us. We wanted to interview him to get like his side of the story on like the matter, because there was a lot of evidence. But at this time he hadn't been found guilty yet. He was being accused. And so we wanted to interview him, and so they sent us an email saying, oh, you're not allowed to ask this question, you're not allowed to ask that question, you can't talk about this. You can't talk about that. You have to stick to these topics, and none of the topics had to do. I'm like, well, no, we can't do that. we can't ask these questions because they're not in they're not part of what we're trying to get out of the video. And they're like,
Bad
well,
about
we're not going to do the video if you don't stick to these questions. Well, I'm like, no. Is there any way we can talk about, because we already announced that we were going to talk about his accusations and we want to get his side of the story. We're not trying to, okay, so as far as that goes, he can come on and talk about how like it's made up and then he's innocent till proven guilty. I'm like, no. That's not what we're going to do either. We're not
He
going to
wanted
let
it appealing to his
I
narrative.
think I've heard of him before when he was going through all of that, because that name sounds really, really, really familiar.
He at the beginning he was it was something happened at IkiCon about him being a guest, and then it turned out he really wasn't a guest, and then
That's what I heard.
Carl Martin, he's a famous cosplayer. He was at Heroes of Cosplay, and he did an investigation, like literally looked into the dude about what he claimed, because he said he was a voice actor for Ruby, and that he was one of the inspiration of the characters. He made a character which Monty made into the Ruby series because he was so inspired by him, you know, and so
Bullshit.
like yeah,
I remember that too.
I actually have. Let me see if I can find it, because I don't even know if I have it, because it was during the time when I
Join
was
the chat.
at H that it happened, and we didn't know he was faking his criteria. Let me see if I have it. I think I have it somewhere. I don't know where. I may or may not have it.
Does she have a stage name that we can use so we can acknowledge her during the stream? Oliver?
Oh, Lexa.
Yeah. Does she?
Yeah.
That's who she wants to go as, Lexa?
Yeah,
That
Lexa.
is my stage name.
That is it. Yeah.
Okay,
That is
okay,
her stage
okay.
name.
Okay. So
Okay.
She's being.
I think this
The
might
kitty
be it.
cat.
I'm not for sure.
okay. Well, we are gonna use I was gonna talk to you later about it. So we're gonna go ahead and make this announcement now while Saki Kitty looks for something. So, we talked about this the other day, and Geek Cyber is always looking to expand and
Okay.
branch out, like TikTok and and Instagram and Snapchat and Mixer and YouTube and Facebook and all these other platforms that have so much potential. So podcasting is a very big way for people to express, to talk about subjects, to get their point of view. And one thing, like I said, we're trying to be very, very diverse with our groups. You know, we've tried to bring in people that can help represent and get more awareness for certain groups out there, especially, you know, for like gamers,
Absolutely.
tabletop gamers, problems in the community for women, problems in the community for men, all this and all that. So one thing we're going to do, it's not going to happen anytime soon. It's probably going to be like a month at least. But we are going to introduce an all-girl podcast.
Woo! What? I love it. I don't not hate that. I love that. What are you talking about?
No, because you can't be on it. You can't be on it.
I know, it's okay. Lexa can be on it.
No, I can't. I'm not going to be on it. I'm going to produce it. I'll still like call everybody and produce it from like I am doing it now. I just won't have any kind of presence whatsoever. So I'll be
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, something. I think there's
okay, so
opinions
I
that
actually
men
found
should.
it.
We can use
Because,
Lexa for that. We can use Lexa for that.
So
Absolutely.
like this is what like okay, I'm at the bottom, and there's like some other cosplayers as well too. All these cosplayers are actually phenomenal at what they do. But when this happened, before the whole issue of like him faking to his make it type of deal of him faking his followers, he bought his followers. You can tell because he had like 25,000 followers, but only like at the most 5 likes. So it's
Oh,
all
God, I hate that.
like he bought his followers and stuff. But this is who. Let me see if I can.
Freaking
Like
Edgar.
that's who he is.
Yeah, we can all see that.
Like he lied about everything, and then when Carl Martin actually did research about like does he work for Ruby, does he know Monty, and this is when Monty passed away, so Monty couldn't say anything if he did or did not. His wife, or widow sadly, chimed in and said we never met him, he's never was inspired, this guy is like flat out lying about the whole situation, because he says, I'm going to be a voice actor at Ruby, and it was just like lies after lies after lies of what he said. And then people, and I actually talked to the person that was making his props and armor, because we figured out who it was. And I actually messaged her, and she's like, I think it was a woman in either Philippines or Korea, but she makes all the props and stuff for him. And he actually was saying, oh, I do commissions, but he just makes the commissions 3 times as much, and he just tells her to do it. It was totally insane of like what was going on behind the scenes, but he lied about everything. And I can only say that because when we're at a panel, when I asked him, like, oh, explain how you made your gauntlets for garnets, he could not explain how he made it. He says, oh, I just put these pieces together and wire, and then it worked. And I'm like, that's not like a really good, detailed explanation.
That's not how it works.
Like, that's how it works. It's like together.
That's not how it works, fool. Tell us how much the material cost. Where did you buy it?
Yeah.
What did you use to glue it together?
What material did you use? What wire did you use? Use chicken wire? Did you use just like fishing lines? What the fuck did you use?
Yeah.
He couldn't answer that. And then anytime, like, if I answer a question, it's like, yeah, you go over here and get coupons. He just echoes what other people said. So it just kind of made him look like he knew what he was talking about. Like, and then everybody at that, they were kind of upset with him because he just tried to overpower his voice. He tried to make it all. He was late to the panel as well too. So
yeah, just speaking over everybody.
Yeah, I mean, he was very obnoxious the entire time. And then I had suspicions of like him not knowing what he did because he didn't knew how to answer questions. I'm like, well, maybe it's his first time. Maybe he was nervous. It's my first time too. I'm nervous. I'm not going to jump the gun. When Carl Martin did the research, and then he says, oh, I won in Matsuri and all these other contests, and he asked them, and they're like, no, he never won any contests. He didn't win any nominations or anything like that. And then he looked in his progress pictures, and they're similar to another person's progress pictures, so
he was stealing pictures.
Whether he was lying about the entire situation.
Yeah, it's kind of... I will say one thing, and okay, so... We're going to go ahead and change the subject, but I will say this.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, it's fine.
It's fine. It's perfectly understandable. And I totally lost my train of thought. Damn it.
Oh, no. Rest in peace.
Well, okay. So one thing I will say about him is that I didn't know him too well. He always said, like, we were best friends and stuff like that. And I really didn't want to be around him too much because everyone in that group of his, like, would, like, kiss his ass. And I was like, why?
Whatever.
I'm like, why are they kissing your ass? Oh, it's because I'm a big time cosplayer. I'm like, really?
I've never heard of him. Like, he apparently had like 25,000 followers. And I'm like, I never heard of you, bitch.
I'm like, and this is when I was like, this is when I knew like the people from Twinsic and a lot of other groups. And I'm like, I've never once seen you hang out with any of them, and they all kind of know each other.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the top cosplayers know each other. They really did, and I knew them. They all called me. They all knew me as the Naruto guy that danced Thriller. So I kind of got to meet them through like that. So I found out that there was like this big social circle between all the top cosplayers. And one thing I can say is that we did notice that he had a lot of followers, and that's why we invited him to be on the podcast. And a lot of people were so ready to drill him with questions. Because we were send us your questions through email and we'll ask him those questions. Because before when we did the podcast, it was all pre-recorded. So now that it's live, you can actually post your questions or comments and we will address them if we want to. Sometimes, but people like, no, today's has been so hectic. We hit the 100 comment marker like within the first 20 minutes.
Holy shit.
Hey. Yeah. Keep it going, guys. Keep it going. Let's make a record. I don't know what the record is, but let's make a record.
So, one of my friends actually. Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah. So that's why like the live thing, we didn't know how well it was gonna work. So like as far as like with him goes, we decided to cancel that podcast because, and we explained in the announcement that we wanted to keep our integrity intact. We didn't want to use the podcast. We weren't going to allow him to use the podcast as a way to make himself look innocent and as a way to clean his slate. That's not what we wanted.
Exactly.
And we wanted to ask him the really tough questions like, hey man, so what's going on? Like we were going to ask him what's going on with the accusations that what can you share with us? that you are able to, because we know that sometimes they can't share if they're in court. So we were going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but we wanted him to at least share his side of the story. And, we were going to go in there with we were going to believe everything you hear on the internet with a grain of salt. But it is one of those situations to where we have a lot of followers now. We have 1,000. And I think that's a lot. To me, that is a lot. And people actually interact with our page, as you can see. The people commenting when we were posting the memes, our John Cena meme where it was John Cena and he made this really dumb looking face where it's like when someone tells you Batman dies in Endgame, but then you remember Batman's from Dragon Ball. And he looked all kinds of dumb. That reached out to like 85,000 people. And our Matsuri tweet, when we posted the tweet that we were not going to be at Matsuri in February, and Matsuri happened in April, and the whole Nazi thing happened, our tweet reached out to almost 100,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember trying to defend y'all. I talked to boycott Matsuri, and I showed that post that you said on February. I was like, no, Matsuri is just throwing them under the bus because they don't take responsibility of they fucked up.
Right. So I mean, we've been on Houston Press about that. I mean, that's really bad, but there's a lot of YouTubers that talked about us, so we have some kind of awareness, and we've run into people that have heard of us. We were at the mall. We were going to watch a movie. I think we were going to watch Endgame for like the third time, and I just bought the Captain America shield because I got 25% off of the shield because it was the last one, and because we had tickets to go see the movie. And we ran into some people from Delta. They're like, "Oh, you guys are Geeks Forever." I'm like looking around, like, yes.
Yeah, like you know me.
Like, can we help you? Because I'm like, oh my god. I'm looking at Asian. What did you do? Like, so it's kind of weird for me to when people are like, hey, I remember talking about, somebody says, I remember talking to AM about your booth. We didn't have a booth at Anime Matsuri. We had a panel, but
yeah, maybe your lack thereof.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, it's kind of weird whenever people recognize us as Geeks Forever. Like, oh, you guys are Geeks Forever. I'm like, yeah. Can I help you?
Can I help?
Because I'm not used to it. Like, I don't think I'll ever get used to it to where people are like, oh, yeah, we've heard of Geeks Forever. I'm like, really? That's awesome. It's really cool for us to run into people that have heard of us.
Like, hey, what?
Because everyone knows that I've and Saki Kitty has been here since I first started this, and I have busted my ass. I have worked hard, like doing press, doing panels, the parties, karaoke, the podcast, the live streams.
The parties.
That's like the party. I had pictures of the naked chick's butt. I was like, how did this
to address the comment, do we have any booths at cons this year? No, we do not. Due to the pandemic with White Claw, because of YouTube's policy, penalizing people for saying the name of the virus during the current crisis, we cannot say its actual name. Sometimes we say it by mistake. Other channels say it by mistake, but we try to avoid that. So we call it the White Claw virus because White Claw is a crappy beer. Is it even a beer?
It's piss.
It's piss.
I don't drink it.
I'm more of a wine. I'm a hard drinker, so I'll drink vodka and wine.
I drink soju over here.
That's the reason I have my name. Actually, I was when I was trying to find a name for my cosplay page. I know I needed one, and I was going to go for Kasame or Kasume cosplays, or not Kasume, or some sort of K one, and then I like kitty or cat, so I was going to say Nico, and my mom's like, well, why not just say Saki, like the drink, because you drink a lot, and I was like,
Sake.
Oh, okay, that makes sense, cool, so my mom named me Saki Kitty. That's how I got.
Yeah, because that doesn't sound like an alcoholic at all.
Because you're an alcoholic, and I'm like, thanks, Mom. Thank you. Love you. I love my mom. Happy Mother's Day to everybody.
So To answer your question, we don't have any booths this year. We were discussing Delta. Most of the group, 80% of the group, feels very uncomfortable with going to Delta HCon this year. I might still submit the karaoke panel and have an ambassador hosted for us that is going. Other than that, we have no plans whatsoever to attend any cons until we even canceled our plans for the Texas Renaissance Festival, which is the first weekend of October. Because if you were to catch anything anywhere, that would be the place, especially the campgrounds. But going back to the nice guy thing and the creeper guy thing, you have a lot of photographers that are very unprofessional. They'll try to take like underskirt shots, and then you have the nice guys. They get aggressive, that they get angry, and they get impatient, and they get agitated at the fact that the girl that they're interested in is not interested in them, and then they go and spend $300 because they think the way to win a girl's heart is through buying her stuff, which is not true. No, it's not.
If you want a relationship like that, just go to sugardaddies.com.
Sugardaddies.com.
Sugardaddies.com. If you want an affection, because there's women out there that are perfectly fine with that, but I'm not condoning it. But if that's how you think a relationship works, by all means, make an account there.
Let me see. Let me do some research. Hey, Saki Kitty's on here.
Oh, I do not.
No, I'm messing with you.
I've done that before, and I'm like, I can't do that shit.
I am too poor. I am poor. I lost my job because of the pandemic, and this was the year I was gonna get my life together.
I don't even want to talk about like fucking
poor.
pandemics.
Poor. Let's not talk about pandemics.
Let's talk about poor.
Let's talk about being poor. Our subject for next week is gonna be poor.
Poor, yeah.
That's a good one. Being
That's
poor.
actually not a bad subject to talk about.
Being poor at a con.
The cheapest way to surf through a con. I have gone to a convention out of city and not spent any money. And it was a magical weekend. It was a magical weekend.
I think the only time I didn't spend money at a con was at Delta H, and that was because I was doing panels every single day and running around like a mad woman, and I didn't have like a lot of time to like go and.
Holy shit!
Breaking...
Hold on. Breaking news. I need to check to see if this is legit, but this is breaking news for all of our listeners that are wrestling fans. Becky Lynch has announced that she's pregnant and must go away for a while.
Oh,
Becky says she requested to the decision makers that whoever won the Money in the Bank in the ladder match is the new Raw Women's Champion. Asuka is now the Raw Women's Champion.
Raw Women's Champion! Yes, Asuka, my queen! Oh, I'd go gay for Asuka.
For those of you that don't know, Becky Lynch had just gotten an unannounced role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But yes, I'm checking Ringside News and NoDQ.com to make sure this is legitimate. And Becky, in an interview, Becky Lynch disclosed that her pregnancy, that it was announced on this week's Raw. Okay, yep, she is officially pregnant. She is pregnant. She's expecting her first child with Seth Rollins.
Aww.
That's so cute.
Adorable.
Yeah, holy crap! Wow, and people were saying that was going to be the major announcement. And congratulations! And they'll probably never hear this, but congratulations to Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Becky Lynch is the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion, with second place being Ronda Rousey, a former UFC champion. So yeah, congratulations! Because I that popped up as soon as I was making the joke, and I moved the mouse to my monitor, my PC, my big PC rig, and it just popped up. So yay! Hey, Carlos is here. Carlos joined us on the podcast Saturday to fill in for Mr. Oliver.
Yay!
Everyone got real quiet when I said pregnancy.
was an announcement.
Well, it's so different from like what we were talking about, like the nice guys and like sideways
I have
photographers, and then all of a sudden,
I have a story where a guy was like claiming that we were dating or even married. That was interesting. I had another one that sent me a dick pic. I have another one that
Oh,
was
let me tell you about dick pics. Okay, so I was working with this guy on a voiceover project.
What?
And on a voiceover project, and we were communicating through Facebook Messenger, and it shows that he sent a picture. I was like, okay, whatever. Let's see. It's probably just another character reference sheet. Nope. Big old dick pic, and I was like, what the fuck? And he immediately removed it. He's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, like, so sorry, I didn't mean to send that. I was like, okay, you must have been having a bad day. And that was like a few years ago, and he told me recently that he actually sent it on purpose, and he did that to like every single girl that he like ever worked with, because he got a thrill out of like knowing that other women have seen it. And I'm like, I don't know how to. And then he like asked me to rate it, and I like just completely swerved.
Like going to 10?
Yes. Well, like not like a 1 through 10, but like, hey, did you like it? Did it look good?
Did you like it? Did it look good? You know, I was actually gonna make a joke like he had sent it, and then he's like, oh no, I'm sorry. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. He's apologizing. He's like, here, let me send you one of a better angle.
I would have said something totally different.
I literally just like swerved. I was like,
did you tell anybody else? Like, or does the staff know that he's like he likes to send dicks to women?
He doesn't do it anymore. He doesn't do it anymore. Probably because he lost his girlfriend, I think.
That makes sense. Yeah, like
potentially. I don't know. It's unconfirmed. Like, I wish him the best.
I don't know, like,
the guy was dumb and stupid at one point.
The guy who sent his dick pic, I was like, I just thought that you would like to see my dick, and I'm like, I didn't even request for that. It's like, I thought it would be funny, and I'm like, no, it's not funny. Definitely doesn't look funny, but okay, whatever, dudes. Do not send dick pics to women.
Yeah, this conversation took a hard right turn.
Yeah, do not send dick
Don't
pics.
do that. Not
That's
unless she
bad idea.
requests it from you and you are comfortable giving it to her.
Exactly.
Hey.
Always consent, even including like sending nudes and stuff. Like you're like, can I see a nude? Okay, all right, cool. Let's take a picture. But like, no, don't just like automatically send it. Dick pics. Do not want dick
pics. My other cat. We're all talking about dick pics, and my other cat.
What did you rate it? That's what I'm wondering. Like, it's just like a 1 out of 10.
Well, I didn't even comment. Like, I didn't even say. Like, he asked me that question. I was like, so how's the weather today?
He's just like, oh my god. Are we doing this?
Here, I just added I added a dick pic to the stream.
Yeah. Let's see this. Oh
god. Those are the only pictures that I've except unsolicited.
That is a dick. Oh, we're fucking terrible.
It's gonna stay on there so it can be glorious.
Like blur his face, just like or put like a bar on it, you know, like they do with censoring for whatever fucking reason.
He's already wearing a mask. That says somebody commented that's a handsome dick.
That is a handsome dick.
Yeah. So unsolicited dick pics are now illegal. They are.
Why did I take so long for it to be illegal?
Because the way the internet works, there's so many gray areas.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, because there's always fighting. It's like, well, we don't know if the person who sent it is really the person who they claim to be, unless you've proven that that person was on that computer at that time that sent that type of picture.
Or, you know, what if it was with consent? Because they could have agreed on it in person.
Yeah, there's consent, or there's proof of consent, or it's crazy with the laws, including like nude photos apparently, or what they called like revenge. I don't want to say the P word, but it's like revenge porn, where that people send like videos of their previous lovers and put it on the internet because they've broken up with them for some reason or whatever, and they just want to hurt them, and so they'll send all their nude.
That's the exact reason why I will never ever do that.
Yeah, so like here's like, and somebody actually, like, it was a woman who advocated on getting rid of these videos if it was consensual, not consensual, or they don't agree. And apparently, just like laws when it comes to like taking pictures, the person who takes the picture on their device owns that.
Y'all need to go and read Pika's comment.
Who?
Pika commented, dude, if a guy says he effed you or some shit, go around telling everyone he gets turned on by like goat pee or something, or he yells his mom's name when he finishes.
Right.
Damn, nobody fuck with Pika, damn.
I'm like, what the fuck? That went to a dark.
That's good advice, though. That's good advice.
Yeah. But like, from what I understand, when it comes to like if you're taking pictures of nudes or something, do it with your own phone. Don't do it with their phone, because if they take a picture of you with their phone, guess what? They own that picture. So if there's any nude picture you're planning on doing, do it on your phone and then send it to them, because if they try to hurt you and use that nude picture, it's like, nuh-uh, I took that picture. Technically, I own that picture. You're sharing it without my consent. Therefore, you're going to get in trouble. There's a lot of legal grounds that's like going around, and it's finally getting into production of like trying to help women and prosecuting people. But it's crazy. There's like a documentary on all this stuff, including this one website that got taken down years ago. But apparently, they were hacking into women's phones and stealing their pictures and putting it onto the website. And then they find out, and then the only way for them to take it down is that the women had to pay like a few $100s to get just one picture down, and there might be like 20 of these, and this mother found out that they were hacking into other women's phones in order to get these pictures, so they were doing it illegally, and it just got like a huge mess. I forgot what that documentary was called. It was very interesting. It was very interesting and fascinating.
Do you remember what it is? Let me know, because I want to watch that. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I was trying to find it. Let me see if I can find it. It was like such a like.
Yes, I want to watch it. Get off the podcast immediately. Watch it.
Hey, if anybody, anyone just joining us or just tuning into the stream or anything like that, if you have any comments or stories you want to share, feel free to share with us, please, and we will go ahead and address it and talk about it. To answer a few questions somebody asked, they don't know who Becky Lynch is. Becky Lynch is a WWE superstar, a wrestler for WWE, and she and like two other people were the first. They were the first women's main event. They actually were the main event of WrestleMania. It was the first time that women had main evented WrestleMania, so it was a big deal. Ronda Rousey was in it too. For those of you that don't know who Ronda Rousey is, she's a former UFC champion. I forgot which weight division. Welterweight, something like that. Oliver has been really quiet. We can't hear you again.
Oliver, you there?
No, we can't hear him.
I can't.
No. That's why I was like, man, he's really quiet.
I'm sorry.
No. Technical difficulties on his part again.
Okay, I'm trying to find which one it was. I wonder if it was like on 2020 or Dateline. It was a really good documentary.
Yes. So this is a nice guy. It's not about actual nice guys, like, guys that are genuinely nice and they try to help out and do everything they can. We're talking about like the nice guys that they get aggressive and get all frustrated whenever they're attracted to a girl and the girl doesn't share the same feelings. The guy will be nice to her and treat her like a queen and buy her everything, but when she doesn't return the feelings, he gets mad.
So I actually have a funny story that didn't happen to me. It actually happened to one of my friends. We went to, I think it's like Anime Fest together, and it was like me, her, my brother, and a couple of other friends, and we lost track of her, and I guess she was just kind of chilling and walking around. I mean, like, we're all over 20, so it's not a big deal. And I see my brother come by, and he's basically got her picked up in his arm and, like, bolting down the hallway. And I'm like, what is happening? And so I catch up to them, and it's like, what is happening? What is this? And my brother, like, had put her down, and, like, they were, like, she just kind of, like, shell-shocked, and apparently she had wandered off and, like, ended up started talking to this one guy, like, older, like, 30s, 40s-ish, and my brother went off to find her, and the moment he finds her is the moment he hears this guy tell my friend, I would love to have sex with you in a room full of mirrors.
What?
And my brother didn't ask questions. He just picked her up and ran. He's like, nope. No. Not today, Satan.
Not today.
It's like a weird way to get back in the convocation
Yeah,
again.
I know. It's like, oh,
Are you back?
Senor. That, by the way, that's gonna be your stage name with this, Senor Oliver.
Senor Oliver.
Senor Oliver.
I'll take it.
Yes.
Senor Oliver.
What
Yeah,
in
I
tarnation?
was trying to say earlier, was like there's a website that's exploitedcollegegirls.com where they're doing something similar, where they're getting girls to come and model for them, and then basically kind of being like, oh, hey, we're going to film you. The girls are like, oh, I thought we are just going to do pictures, clothed. And they're like, no, we're going to do a video, and we're going to be naked, and we're going to have sex. And they kind of like force them into these situations, and then they put the videos up online. They sell them because it's like a membership website, and these girls like are just, you know, they're embarrassed. They actually, some of the most of the girls actually sued the website and the guys got arrested. So they're in jail. Fortunately, they posted bail on that, but they're arrested and they're undergoing like a criminal court case for it. So
Yeah, there was.
So
I'm gonna be back.
let's get this out there. Let's just go ahead and get this out there. There are a lot of people that go to conventions with the mindset to get laid, and like that is like their goal for the weekend. So it is a thing. There are lots of people that go to cons with different motives.
And even girls go there for that intention too, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I think
it's the
it happened.
manner of
It happened at Onicon, like, because one of our friends was like, "Man, I need to get laid." All right, dude, I'm gonna help you. And then I was on the Onicon chat, on the Onicon group page, I think the 21 page. I'm not sure which one it was.
Probably 21.
Yeah, so there was this girl like, oh, it's gonna be my birthday that weekend, and I want to like hook up with somebody. And I'm like, huh, okay. Let me go ahead and message her. I'm like, hey, let me go ahead and message her. Hey, hello. All I said was hello. This chick was like, I'm like, oh, by the way, happy birthday. My friend definitely wants to meet you, but is there like something specific you want for your birthday, like alcohol or something? Then she's like doing this with the emojis and like sending nudes, and I'm like,
It's like, I want sexual intercourse. Okay.
I'm like, no, not with me. That's not happening.
Not with me. Yeah.
No, my friend wants that.
And it got bad because my friend, and I told my friend about her. He's like, for real? I'm like, yeah, let me show you the messages. So I showed him the messages. He's like, damn. I didn't know he was doing this. So I'm like, hey man, get on my laptop and message her that you would like to meet her. Okay, he's like, cool, I'll do that. He did that shit through my account. Asking her where she was, where was she going to be, could they meet up, with my damn Facebook account. And I got on his ass about that. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And I text her, I'm so sorry. Like, did you meet my friend? It was my friend texting through my account. He was probably the guy. I'm like, then I describe what he looks like. And she's like, oh, yeah, I did see him. That makes sense because you kept saying I'll come meet you and you never showed up. And you were being like constantly messaging me like, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And I never once saw you there. I'm like, yeah, because I got other shit to do.
Crazy.
Yeah, no. It's because like my laptops never have passwords. My
Why
laptops
not?
because I didn't think because normally nobody goes through my stuff.
No big, yeah.
Yeah, so it like normally nobody goes through my stuff and like I don't think like, you know, I told him he could use my laptop. But my Facebook was still logged on. When I said use my laptop and message her on Facebook, I meant for him to get on his account.
That's why I'm laughing, because he probably thought, oh, just use his Facebook account or some stupid shit like that.
Yeah, no, it pissed me off.
I'd be pissed off too. It's just
I was really pissed. Hey, what happened to our voice actress?
She
I don't know.
She got off. I don't know if she got off. Like, I don't know if she's coming back or not. But it's just that the camera's off. Maybe she will come back. Please come back. I don't want to be the only girl here.
That's right. Ah.
Yeah.
I believe you. Come back.
You're wearing too much clothes.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just go ahead and. No,
Let me just take all this off.
Sir, yeah, it's like, so for the podcast, are pants required? Well, as long as we can't tell on the camera, it's fine, I guess. Pants are not required. Oh, Jen went to go potty. Okay. Jen needed to go poop. That's what, no, Trunks isn't here to comment that. Normally Trunks would comment they went to go poop.
I have a lot of, like, nice guy stories. Want me to tell the one who said to people that we were married? That was fun.
Oh, I got one. I got a nice guy story.
Oh, ooh.
And this happened to me.
So it's a nice girl.
No. It
was a nice guy? Oh, really? Really? That's
Yes.
Okay.
So,
All right, share this lovely tale.
can you hear us, Senor Oliver? Because you look like you can't hear us.
Oliver.
Nope. Nope.
Oh, fuck.
Again.
What's up with the... He can't hear... No, he can't hear.
But can you hear us? Just give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. Yeah, he can hear us.
Okay, he
Okay,
can hear us.
so this was at Delta years ago. Ooh. When they... Jesse is real popular with all genders.
He's
So-
like shaking his head, just like, yeah, I know this story.
I don't know if I shared it. So this is at Delta years ago when they were still at U of H. So we're at Delta, we're hanging out, and I had just got done talking to one of my friends, and I'm like, hey, you're being kind of weird with me, and you kind of need to stop because you're not 18 yet, and I'm like 22. And she like apologized to me. I'm like, I'll be your friend, but no, because I had a discussion with her, and so this dude that was cosplaying Goten from Dragon Ball GT he comes to our booth and starts talking to us, and he starts saying, I'm like, dude, we're showing Dragon Ball Z Kai, and he's like talking to us, and we start hitting it off. We're like really good friends. We become friends, and then he starts hitting on the girl that I had just had the discussion with. I'm like, dude, she's not 18. Like, relax. He's like, oh, it's okay. Oh, it's okay. I won't tell if you won't. And she's like, no. And I'm like, dude, stop. You're going to get in trouble. I'm like, I just met you, but I'm about to kick your ass. So he starts hanging around us. And he starts following us everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, okay, if you want to hang out, that's fine. You can hang out. But it's just kind of weird that you started following us. We didn't even invite you. So I don't know how it happened. So as the day progressed, at some point that night, he's like, oh, by the way, I'm bi. What? Okay. And but the way he said it to me, he got real close. Is that why you bought me food? He had bought me like food and like a couple other things. I'm like, is that why you got me that shit?
Because you're hoping to sleep with me with food. I'm gonna pay you in food. So,
like, bruh.
So we can.
No, I was like, my jaw was just like, I was like, no, here. No, because he kept following me. He kept getting close, and he was like real close. I was like, no, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
you know how.
And then that's when he said he was bi. Like, he was being real nice to us, and I was wondering why he was real nice to me. I was like, he bought me food, and he bought me like a couple Dragon Ball Z things. I'm like, he's like, I'm bi, by the way. I'm like, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah, that's how it is for women. We just like someone's nice and like starts buying me stuff, and I'm like, you want sex, right? Because you're not getting that. I'm not gonna have sex with you.
Right? No, I was all like, my exit is staying an exit.
Oh, wait, where did he go?
I came back, but at what cost?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
you didn't
there
miss
we
shit. I was like, I told him, I told the Goten straight up, like, listen, dude, that's cool, but my exit is going to stay an exit, so you're barking up the wrong tree. He
Not into
really
that
creeped me, and then he
process,
started texting me afterwards.
Oh my god! Wait, you gave him the number. You gave
Yeah,
him your
because
number.
I gave him my number before he told me
Why
that.
would you do that?
Because
You have to have a fake number just in case.
Okay, no, let me explain to you why I gave him so at our booth, I was like, hey, and my phone goes off. He's like, oh, snap, you have Rock the Dragon as your ringtone. And this is when we had flip phones still. So you could text each other, and we still had flip phones, so we could text each other ringtones because downloading them wasn't like that common yet. So like, here, let me text you Rock the Dragon, and so you can have it as your ringtone. So I text him through my phone, and that's how he got my number. Equal opportunity.
That's how he did it.
No
That was the
bonus
trap.
points for that.
Yep.
No, seriously, there was one
That's a pretty good
person at we went to our friend Trunks. We went to a bar, and there was this one dude that kept hitting on him. Like, he would not take no for an answer throughout the night. Like, getting more and more touchy and aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing.
Especially at Renaissance Festival, they will not take no for an answer.
No, that has happened.
You
to
know
me
how many?
before.
You know how many
No.
times our group has fought somebody because of that bullshit?
Yeah, that's why you always have to have a fake number. You have to have a fake number in order
a rejection hotline.
No, just like give them a fake number. And there's this one number that actually.
Dude, that's what this one guy did. Okay, so there's this one guy named Rigoberto who I guess used to have my phone number or just uses my phone number to give to people he doesn't want to give his phone number. You know how many Spanish phone calls I get, and I can't even communicate other than I am white and I am a female. Wrong number.
Yeah.
No comprende, por favor.
Like, sorry, nope.
It's been happening for like 3 years now. It's relentless. and on top of that, the most recent victim of this was one of those sunroof salesman guys with the retractable sun patio covers, and I told him he spoke English, and I was like, thank God. I was like, look, I'm not this person, and if you ever get in contact with him again, tell him to stop fucking using my number. And he's like, well, this could be a positive opportunity for you. I was like,
I'm like, no.
seriously, I don't want this. He's like, Rigoberto, if you really don't want I took a picture of myself. I'm like, I'm a little white girl from Texas. I am Rigoberto.
White.
And he's like, oh, you're so cute. You're so pretty. You have a boyfriend? I was like,
Oh my God. It never ends, does it?
No, you should have told him you had 7 cats. That'll scare him away. Was it a Mexican guy?
no, I think it's a black
That
dude.
sounds like the only thing a Mexican guy would do.
I know, right? It sounds like a thing a Mexican guy would do. You tell a Mexican
Yeah.
guy you got 7 cats, they'll go running. Ay, cabrón. A la verga, tiene gatos. Muchos gatos.
Muchos gatos, I know that.
Wait, was it? Someone made a comment. What do we got here? Speaking of getting hit on, after the numbers cosplay competition, I was hit on by both male and females. but caught on right away. They just wanted drinks. I'm like, damn, okay.
Damn.
They were
Well,
just
okay,
using you
so
for
let's
drink.
also another announcement. Mr. Blastoids, who just commented about being in the competition at Numbers, will be a guest on one of the podcasts, hopefully later this week.
Hey, tune in.
Nice.
Eventually, I'm gonna start doing like a podcast every day. We're now doing them on Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Fridays fan fiction, and Sundays I think I'm gonna take that day off from now on. So fan fictions will be once a week, but Tuesdays and Thursdays I definitely want to do more podcasts. Like because Thursday is now our Delta H-Con versus Anime Matsuri podcast.
And where I get really sloshed.
What other like? There's so many creepers and
Y'all
stories and-
can drink during the podcast. I am not going to.
No, I got you, man. That's just that subject gets me all more drunk.
Let me tell you something.
I was just like, give me a second. I have a story to tell you.
Oh yeah, no, seriously, like the time, like whenever when I was walking around Matsuri, and the security guard was Mexican too, and he sees me, I'm like, hey, I'm advertising that I got alcohol, and I'm sharing it with whoever, I don't care, and I'm just like, woo, party, and the guy's like, hey, vato, calm down, you're gonna get in trouble. Oh, I'm like, oh no, thank you, man. I don't want to get deported. And then me and the guy like we fist bump. We're like, yeah, just looking out homes because they're like strict on the alcohol. I'm like, oh no, man, thanks, man. Hey, I need a CID before you get a drink now. Me and the guy actually shared drinks. He was.
Oh,
he was
I
on
was gonna
duty.
ask.
Go ahead.
Nice. If you guys ever actually gone to events that conventions have been throwing that are like not quite part of like the convention, but involve like local bars or anything like that, where the cosplay community kind of interacts with like the regular community, like going out to bars, pub crawls, any of that type of stuff. Have you guys had any bad stories about that? Because I have a few, but I just wanted to see if you guys have had similar instances.
I have more.
I have a few too.
Yeah.
If it's not like a community thing, it's like
I
I would go to locations to do photo shoots and like things would happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a few too, unfortunately.
Yeah, like so. Yeah, it's like for me, it's like I do a lot of videos at these conventions too. I'll film some of the events that are happening, whether they're like inside the convention or outside, And there's been a couple times where I videotape like men harassing women, and the girls are like, "This guy won't leave me alone," and I'm like, well, I'm videotaping it so I can show you what this guy looks like if you ever want to do something about it. But at the time, the thing is, it's always like people that are like the locals, someone that's not like going to the convention. It's someone that's just drunk at the bar and they like, oh, see pretty girls, I'm gonna try to dance up on them and all that sort of stuff, and turn into a big old mess. And there's other stories, but yeah.
I mean, because like at conventions, especially the ones at hotels, they have bars, and you see cosplayers go over there and they congregate, and they, there's many times I go there to talk, or, when I travel, when I go to San Antonio especially, I want to sit and have like a beer with my friends, and we'll just sit down and talk. And the one time where my friend says, oh, we're going to go, I was like, okay, cool, I'm just going to like finish my drink here, and then I'm going to, head back to the con. And these two guys, they were businessmen. They were definitely not from a convention. I was dressed up as Altair, and I was like doing a gender bend. And this is one of my first costumes, like one of the first ones like I was making. And I want to redo that costume, by the way. I really want to do that one. But I was dressed up as these guys were talking to me, and then it just got like they started to talk sexually, and they're like, hey, have you ever had like a threesome? And I'm like, no. And there were rings on their fingers. They were married, but they were like best friends. And apparently that they will go and they will have like threesomes with random women. And they were actually inviting me to go to their hotel. And I'm like, no, I am bi. I just not.
I am bi.
As in bye.
Bye.
I am not doing this today. I was like, nope, not today. Nope. I am not going to do this. And And then they started to follow me, and I went back to the con. That's when the security was coming. They're like, you can't come to this point unless you have a badge. And that was the only reason they just kind of like went away. But they followed me for a while because they really wanted to have sex with Altair apparently. But it was weird. I was like, that
maybe they thought you were a dude.
My friends to like meet me somewhere. I'm like, these guys, they won't leave me alone, and I'm scared. Come get me. I was an adult. I was like in my young 20s, and that was a scary moment because then I realized they were following me. It's a scary moment when you realize someone's following you. You're like, oh shit, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Let me call my friends. I need help. I need an adult. I need an adult.
Yeah, like what you were talking about. Forgot who was talking about it earlier. Like similar situation happened with my friends, and it's a girl and a couple of my two other friends are they're panelists too, and this random girl came up to them and were like, hey, this guy has been like bothering me, and this guy continued to harass this young girl while my friends were there, and they like interrupted, and he tried to like pick her up and take off with their girl. And this girl's like, no, I don't know you, and like pushes, like tries to get away, and like my friends had to stand in the middle of it and be like, hey man, you gotta like get away. And like I'm like at these conventions, I'm filming panels, I'm doing all this other stuff. So I come out and I find out after the fact, and I'm like, damn guys, you guys did a good job. And it's I hate that these situations happen when I'm not around because I do not tolerate that kind of crap at all. Like I don't. It's just how can you treat people like that? That's beyond me.
Story time.
I don't understand
Story time from the commenters. Story time from the commenters. Innocent Blastoids once ran around with a camera at conventions. I'm at the rave. I see a lonely Sailor Moon, older woman, and I go and ask, hey, let's see what you can do with that glow stick. And she proceeded to make it disappear again and again into her mouth. Innocent Blastoid panics and runs away. Damn, missed opportunity. LOL.
What can you do with that glow stick?
Dude, talking about raves though, I used to have this like orange and black rave like fox furry like get up shit that I used to wear to raves, and I forgot something in my hotel room, so I went back up while my friends went to the rave. I was like, it's late at night, and like I'm walking past like the bar to get to the area where the rave is, and I'm legit like walking, and I have like a fox, like one of those fake fur foxtails like hanging off of my like belt loop of my pants, and like this dude out of nowhere grabs it and yanks it, pulling me backwards, breaking the chain of the foxtail and breaking my belt loop because he pulled back that hard. I was like, what the heck? And I like back at him, and I was like, sir, excuse me, and he just starts walking off with the tail. I was like, excuse me.
Wow.
Wow.
Like my stupid butt actually went after him, and like I was like, that's mine. He's like, no, I just got it. I was like, yeah, off my fucking belt loop. And he gave it back to me after like a little bit of like back and forth, and like hotel staff like came up, and I was like, this dude just stole my like tail from me, and he's like, no, it's mine. And like the security looked at this drunk dude holding this orange foxtail and looked at me, who's in an orange and black getup with orange fox ears, and they're like, yeah, that's hers. Give it back. So I give it back. They escorted him out of the hotel, and like I went to the rave and had like a shit ton of fun. I still have that foxtail too. It's like in one of these drawers back here. But that was like, it was like, I'm looking back at it, it was like really stupid for me to actually like go and like have that confrontation with him, but like in the moment I was like, that's not
in that moment you're like,
oh, you know how many times I've almost got into a
wrong
fist
way to
fight
get some.
at a con because some asshole bumped into me or broke something off or snatched something. Like, I'm so bad at confrontations too, but I'm like, hey. I don't want to go. I stopped myself because I was about to get all ghetto, but never mind.
I don't know how I deal with confrontations. I guess to me it depends on the situation. Like if I'm like if it's out of the blue, like I didn't or not prepared for it. Like when someone's gonna fight you, I'm like, okay, so you're gonna fight me. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna die, but who gives a fuck? I'll be prepared for that. But when it's like a shock, when it's like all of a sudden they just start yelling at me, I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck did I do? What just happened? How did this escalate? I won't know what to do. But if my friends get like, if there's somebody fighting them, I'm like, nah, you don't fight my friends.
No,
you know,
there's
that's when I.
there is a lot of I'm trying to look at the comments. Sorry. There's a lot of comments.
Yeah, it's the wrong way to get some tail out of
Yeah,
con.
so that's what I was just about to say. Somebody just commented that's the wrong way to get tail at a convention. But like, it's not just conventions. It's like clubs and bars too. Like, you know how many times I've gone to a club and like somebody inappropriately grabs a part of, like grabs me, or like when I was Cookie Monster or when I was a Ninja Turtle, one lady tried to stick her hand underneath the shell. I had to like slap her hand out of the way. I'm like, no.
No touch. No touch.
No touch. And especially like at Renaissance, like dudes, when I was Pikachu, dudes would grab me and they're like, oh,
That's
you're
what I was
a
gonna talk
guy. You're a dude.
The Pikachu incidents.
The Pikachu
Well, like
incidents.
guys randomly touched you, they just thought there was like a woman in there. Like a woman's in there, so we're gonna touch her.
No, so originally they're like, oh, they grabbed me and they're like, oh, you're a dude. And then like once or twice I got this response afterwards, oh, you're a dude. And then like a second later, fuck it. I was like, oh no, it is time to go. No.
I saw some really funny videos of like, there's this one that was going around Facebook, and it was like, it was a person who was dressing up as Live Live or Live Live or something, one of those like idol girl costumes. And like this guy was just like recording, like, oh hey, he was like, oh you look cute, hey what's up? And then he said, what are you cosplaying? And then the person talks, and it was the dude's like, yeah, I'm cosplaying as like her, and he's like, whoa, didn't know that it was a guy cosplaying like a girl. It was a very pretty girl. I thought it was
very pretty.
Love stuff
Let me see. Oh, so Pika says, oh my god, first and only bar fight I ever got into was against some asshole who tried to corner me and kiss me after I said no.
Punch that person in the face.
Stomp him in the nuts. Stomp him in the nuts.
Like, hell no. Don't fucking force kisses. I mean, shit. I didn't have so many bad stories. So many bad stories.
No, yeah, there's a lot. Like there's one person that I unfriended. He pretty much, like, we were at the live action Death Note years ago. Before I had all this hatred towards Matsuri, they were hosting the showing for one of the I think it was the second Death Note movie, the live action movie, and there was a L cosplayer, was a girl, and my friend started flirting with her, and she was kind of innocent. They were both like under 18, I think. So he stole her first kiss without her consent.
Aww.
I got kind of mad at him.
Oh,
yeah, like, dude, that's not good.
I'd be mad too, man. That's fucked up.
And because we knew it was her first because she said it like right after, like.
Oh, that was my first kiss. Oh no. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, so like, no, you never wanna, like, when it comes to nice guys. I mean, for those of you that wanna like try to talk to girls and meet girls and like it. The way I look at it is, if I talk to a girl and she's not interested in the same way I am, I'm still her friend, but I'm like, all right, moving on. I know that sounds messed up, but like.
Well, I mean, I think with the nice.
What are you supposed to do?
Syndrome or something, they don't take rejection well because they have this fantasy in their head of how it's supposed to play out, and it doesn't, and that just ruins their image of their persona of their life. I don't know. It just kills it for them, and they just become very, very angry and defensive. And that's when the anger comes out. I think it's just like, if you can't handle rejection well, you shouldn't be asking people out. That's my opinion. That's just my personal.
Well, I mean, rejection sucks. I mean,
it sucks, but you're not. Don't.
It does, but that's.
Never stop me.
I mean, and then like, don't get me wrong. Sometimes, and sometimes it's not like that clear cut. Sometimes like you'll be like talking to the girl or the guy or whatever, and they like start talking to you back. You start talking, you start hanging out, and then you tell them that you like them, and they're like, they kind of like lead you on sometimes
Okay.
because you're buying them gifts, and they're like, okay, well, I like sometimes some people will use the other person just because they're getting stuff out of them.
Oh, I hate
Yeah,
those people.
that is
They're
the
the
thing.
worst. Like, don't break the poor baby's heart like that. Especially if like the other person's like they want to be together with the other person, but like they respect the boundaries and like they take the rejection, and then like the other person, like I've seen somebody still after all that ask like when that person was gonna send them like more money or more gifts. And I'm like, you are the worst kind of worst. Like you're taking advantage of this person who just like really does care and love about you. Like, stop.
Yeah, at that point it's just like just say no. Like you just like no. Like
Yeah.
why
Well, it's like, okay, so you're doing all this. You're doing all this stuff for them, and they don't take the time and effort to like, you're always texting them, you're always going out, you're always taking them out, buying them like drinks or food or whatever. You're taking them out, but then you realize, oh, well, they're not taking the time and effort to text me or start the conversation. So like if they don't, I'm gonna go ahead and just stop talking to them and just cut them off, and then they come back crying like, oh, why did you stop talking to me? I thought you said you liked me or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but
they'd be like, oh, well, I moved on. I mean, I've done that before. It's like you just like, well, I moved on. I'm not interested in being led on or whatever the hell was going on. It's just like I got other things to do.
Yeah,
right.
conversations are too straight.
Yeah, I've seen that happen to like women doing that towards men, and I'm just like, dude, just state your feelings that you're not interested. Don't lead them on because they're gonna keep on holding. It's just better to just say, look, not interested, and that's okay. Don't just keep leading them on over and over again because it's a dick move. It's a major, and I've seen women do that. I haven't seen men do that, but I've seen definitely women do that.
I've seen some dudes do that. I've seen some dudes that will like flat out just. You know how many dudes I know that like have girlfriends that go out to cons and just mess around?
I heard of those types of people.
I know a couple of those people, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was just like, man.
But like their love life is none of my business, so.
Yeah. I mean, I heard rumors from other, like, what the other cosplayers are doing or what other cosplayers, like, love lives are, and I'm like, I'm not, like, into that, but, but I heard stories about they will mess around at conventions. I'm like, hey, that's your personal life. I really don't give a fuck. You do you.
Mm-hmm.
Right, no.
Or even like the ones that are just like sleeping around and then, developing their own reputation and then taking advantage of like the less attractive people just for sex or something like that.
Or their fame, some of them will just like they have this persona that they're like this really cool, nice or perfect person, but like behind the scenes they're not. They're assholes, towards their significant others or their relationships. People have secret lives. It's basically it. I'm like, I just live my life. I'm like, you do your things. I don't care.
Hey, what's up, Justin? First time commenting on the podcast. Justin says, "Sup, Jesse? It's been a while." Yeah, it's been a while, man. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome, Justin.
Welcome, Justin. Everybody.
Welcome, Justin.
Welcome,
Justin. The story about
Welcome.
telling people that I was married to him. It was fun.
We know, like, I've heard stories about, because girls, like, it's a two-way street. You do have the girls that are like, they will cling on to like a dude that they like, or they'll follow him everywhere. They'll become obsessed, or they'll start going nuts over it. That's where the whole crazy girl thing comes from.
I got a story from that.
Nice girls.
I got a story about
that. They're not really called nice girl. They're called crazy girl.
Cray craze.
Cray craze. Because with nice guys, it's the nice guys, like parentheses, nice guys in quotations. And then you have the crazy girl.
One of my friends was one of those crazy girls. I don't talk to her anymore. That's a whole another story. But she was definitely one of those crazy girls.
That's when you say crazy bitch alert.
was a crazy bitch.
Oh
I
my
don't
gosh.
talk
Pete, we have another comment that says there's also an issue sometimes where a girl is afraid to directly tell a guy she's not interested because she's been followed or threatened by doing it in the past. Well,
That is also true.
if you know, if
Okay,
That is
but
very true.
if anyone is going through that, if anybody's going through that right now, or knows anyone going through that, or knows, like if you have a friend that has a friend that's going through that, if you hear a rumor or you like know firsthand, let us know, and we will help out. Like Geeks Forever, we
Absolutely.
are the voice of the voiceless. We believe, like okay, here's the slogan is we are the voice of the voiceless, and it's not together we will, it's together, it's not together we can, it's together we will.
Well, you have to realize, because like the first time I called out a nice guy, and this was in my early years of being a cosplayer, and his last name was Cruz. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know who I'm talking about because he's notorious in.
Actually, his name has okay. So that whole subject matter has actually died down because that was they cut that off years ago. Like a lot of conventions started like saying, "Look, you can't talk about this person," and then because a convention community, the community for conventions and cosplayers it's like technology. Every couple of months or every year or two, we already have a new wave of people. We already have a new wave of nice guys. We already have a new wave of people joining the community, and people like you know, like me and you, Saki Kitty, we're considered ancient in cosplay years.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
So,
All of my friends that I started out cosplaying with are now like professional.
all right, hold on. Okay. So, I want y'all both to say y'all statement again, but we're gonna start with with the voice actress, and then we're gonna go with Saki Kitty.
Okay, what's the statement?
Yeah, well, it's so weird because like I've been in the anime community since 2008, but I like officially went to my first convention in 2010, and like all of my friends who I knew from back then have kind of transitioned from that like, oh my god, this is amazing, I'm gonna go to every convention, to like, we're gonna select what conventions we want to go to. We have convention like opinions. We're like, some of them are now voice actors, some of them are now professional cosplayers, some of them are not even in the cosplay community anymore, some of them do podcasts and things like that. Like it's been very interesting to watch people go from like that sweet bab weeb child to like professional adulting.
Adulting. We're adulting now.
Oh no! When I first started going to cons, I was just like, "What's this? What's this? There's cosplayers everywhere. What's this? There's props."
My first convention
I was like Jack Skellington at my first con, and after years of going to them, people are like, "Hey, can I get your picture?" I'm like, "Why?" I'm not even in cosplay. Can I eat my breakfast first? No, somebody asked me for a picture. Like I went to weapons check and I had like 10 swords. I was like, "Oh my god, that's a lot of weapons. Can I get a picture?" And I literally asked her why.
You traumatized that poor new person.
No, I still
The
took
rest
the
of their
picture, but I'm
life.
just like, why? I'm just a Mexican. Well, you've never seen a Mexican before? I asked her that.
Never seen a swordmaster Mexican.
Yo, yeah, Justin says, "Bro, I love con, bro. We gotta go as a group." Born. But
I used to go to concerts groups. Like I had like 10 people sometimes, like 8 to 12 people. We'll all get hotels and everything. We'll all like share and split the costs and everything. I remember doing that for a while. Yeah. No, like I remember one time, like, because hotels are now being stricter, so like they make sure that there's not a lot of people in one hotel because of fire hazards. So that makes sense. But there's times where I remember going to a convention and we had like, I think 2 people on each bed, and then we had like a person sleeping between, a person sleeping in the closet, a person sleeping in the tub, a person sleeping all over the floor. So like you couldn't even like go to the bathroom and piss at night because you're gonna step on somebody. Like this is how crowded the whole fucking room was. And then when that happened, I was like, no more. I am going to like spend the extra $50 for me and 4 or 5 other people to just have our own room because everyone sleeps at their own different time. One was like on the computer, and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like,
that's me.
it's crazy. So I just said, I'm never gonna do that ever again.
Wait. So
Yeah,
how
we usually
many
keep our
people-
numbers like 6 to 8.
Blast
Yeah.
Lord
What's the most amount of people you had in a hotel room for a convention?
How many? Okay, there's 4. I would say maybe 8 or 9 at one point.
Okay, what was the question? What is the question? How many people we had in a room or in a group?
See, that's not fair for you to
It-
count, Justin, because you have suite. You have like a whole ass suite.
Yeah, you
and
have-
like people.
Not only do I
Yeah.
know, it's like Delta. It's like, how many people are in your group? Like 20. They're like, damn. Well, yeah, but we have like 6 rooms. We
My
have the
friend just
suite with the 2 connecting rooms.
13 in a small hotel, not even like a suite.
I can't
Yeah,
do that. I
yeah,
can
I would
barely
say
stand
about
6
10.
people. I can barely stand 6 people.
10. It was 10 people. Sorry, it was 10. He's messaging me, my friend Chris. Sorry, Chris. But yeah, oh my God, 10 people. Fucking
I can
hell.
barely
For a regular
stand
size
6.
Room, it was like, yeah, for a regular size room, it was 9. I slept on top of my life-size superior. He was very comfortable. For a suite, it was 18.
What? That's way more
But it
than
was like
me.
a junior,
For a suite,
for
I'll
a
do
junior suite,
13.
we
Oh,
had
man.
18. We had bodies lying from wall to wall.
Well, no, like for
We
our
would not
suites,
pay
though,
all that
the
extra money.
suites for us have to have a connecting room. If it doesn't have a connecting room, I won't do more than 8, like or 8, 9 at the most. But a regular room, I'll do 6, 2 people per bed, 2 people on the floor. For a suite, depending on how big the suite is, especially Delta, where we have like, because we had 40 people in that room, not sleeping there, but 40 people there for the party. And that's because there was like 3 bedrooms connected to it, so people were spread out.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah,
see that.
I remember like having like I mean, when it got to the point where I was having so many people in a room, it's just like we had to share like what times we can use the restroom and take a shower. It was just there's only one bath and one shower, so we just had to make it work. It was just so chaotic. I was like, nope, never again. I'm the most in one, just a standard room. It's gonna be 4 to 5 people. I am never doing that shit again.
You know,
I used to
to
do this like here.
your friend oh no, it's wrong one. At least the smell issue has been taken care of, Saki Kitty.
Oh God, do you want me to get into that? I will get into that.
In a minute, I want to bring up something that happened in one of our rooms that is with the creeper or very inappropriate subject. We were at a very small convention called ApolloCon in Houston, and our friend Sammy was with us, and she got really drunk and plastered, and she invited 2 guys to come hang out. So they come hang out. They're following her everywhere. She's with us. She drinks so bad that she blacks out. So she blacks out. I'm like, oh shit. All right. So me and Asian pick her up and we put her in the bed and we tuck her in. And I look at the guys. All right, guys. Well, she's passed out, so y'all need to get out. Oh, but we were gonna hang out. Yeah, y'all can go hang out in the hall or something, but y'all can't stay here. So I don't know y'all, and I don't trust you. So you need to go. And she showed us her text messages. They thought she was DTF. I'm like, really? They thought you were gonna like screw around with them when you were like unconscious? Nah. I told her I kicked them out of the room. Like when our group we have to make sure we watch everybody. I'm like everyone's pretty much we don't respect each other's shit though. I will throw your shit out in the balcony if your stuff is in the way. That's the like screw your cosplay. I just punted your helmet into the distance.
No.
Rude.
No, we are rude. We're mean to each other. Like we'll hide each other's props just to piss each other off. Somebody hid my laptop and I started like getting mad and I was like yelling and I showed up to my panel and I don't have my laptop and then my friend shows up. He's like, "Here's your laptop," and I start yelling at him in front of everybody in the panel.
Don't do that.
Like, what the? This is a
Rude.
gaming laptop. You hid it from me. I thought I got robbed again. You know how many times I've been robbed at cons?
Oh no.
I never was robbed.
And so, I turned it into a joke too. I was like, so part of that I was being serious, but then I start adding to it to make it funny. Like, you know how many times I've been robbed at cons? I can't report this to the police because I robbed it from somebody. So I was making people laugh, but I've been robbed at people have stolen from us a couple of times because we do the parties. So, you know, it's easy to steal from somebody when you're at a party.
Sadly, yeah. That's why, you know, you have to be careful at conventions. You know, I heard like at conventions, like if someone's trying to sell you something, like, hey, I have this like figure, will you give me $20 for this figure? Yeah, sure. No, most likely from a vendor, and they're trying to pawn it off to you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, somebody said, "Oh no, that's messed up. That's some messed up shit." Who wanna hear someone fucking in the room with other people?
What?
Oh my god, funny story. Funny story. Actually, when I first met my ex for the first time, we were at A Fest and we were staying in a room, and so one of our friends and his girlfriend are staying with us in there, and they start doing it in the room. They didn't lock the door. They didn't put a sock. They didn't put a notice. They didn't put anything.
Did you watch?
We walked in there with like 2 large pizzas. Like there's like a group of us. There's like 6 of us. Yeah, pizza. Woo! Pizza.
Someone's getting their own piece of pie over there.
And I'm like, and we walk in on them like, oh. My friend's like, damn, do you want us to come back? Let y'all finish? And my hungry ass was like, fuck that. I'm going to sit down, watch cartoons, and enjoy my pizza. Whether y'all finish or not, that's on y'all. I literally sat there in the next bed while watching Courage the Cowardly Dog, not even paying attention to them.
Dude, that show was fire, though.
I was like, y'all can finish. I'm going to have my pizza.
You ain't stopping me. I'm hungry and I'm fat.
I'm fucking hungry.
Oh.
Like, y'all aren't doing something that I haven't already seen before.
Or done.
Because like, oh my god, I think I heard about this. I told a lot of people about this story. So, that's happened a few times actually. A very famous cosplayer, I'm not gonna say his name, but he was in one of our hotel rooms, messing around with his girlfriend at Delta, and people kept opening the door on him, and I opened the door to see what was going on, and his face was in his girlfriend's butt. Oh. I was like, oh no. Oh, homeboy's in there eating ass. And he's so embarrassed. I'm making it worse too. I'm making it worse. Oh my god, he had a chocolate mustache and everything.
God damn it.
Sanchez.
Rude.
And I'm like telling everybody
Sir,
during the
that's
panel,
very rude.
hey, guess what our friend did earlier in the room? I'm telling everybody during our adult panels.
Oh god, I'm so happy. This has never happened to me.
Oh, I have no shame. I'll tell everybody about the shit that's happened to me. It's like that time I got into a fist fight with an electrical socket and lost.
Oh, I've done that too.
You didn't stab it with a fork saying, you talking shit?
I stabbed it with a fork.
Saki Kitty, were you there when I got into the fist fight with the porta potty at Renaissance? Oh, no, you weren't there. Did I tell you about that?
No, I don't think I was.
So my friend
I know one Renaissance festival day, I think everyone was going, but I was working 2 jobs at the time, and so I couldn't make it. I'm pretty sure that was like maybe 2 years ago. I don't remember. My friends are like messaging me because they're watching this podcast, so they kind of know who like I'm talking about when it comes to like certain people. Like I'm not gonna say their names, but it's just
as long as it's not me. I said I would stop.
No. There's this one dude. I'm not gonna name him. He's also the guy that apparently I didn't know until like a couple of years later. You know him, Goku, but he was the one that we had a fallout because apparently.
Oh, the one that wouldn't make eye contact with me.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
him.
that. Yeah, he smelled as well too. And there's times at conventions. There's just one time at conventions that we were at the convention and yeah, he smelled and I was like, well, probably because we're out, we're cosplaying, we're in heavy gear and everything. And I was like, I was like, why don't you, why don't you just take a shower, get ready for tomorrow. And he says, no, I don't want to take a shower. And I'm like, okay. Well, why not? Oh, I didn't bring like shampoo or conditioner. I didn't bring body wash. I was like, well, I have enough body wash. Because sometimes at convention I'll bring like
Me
body
too.
wash,
Like
for
a whole bag of just extra stuff.
Yeah.
It's your body wash. He's just like,
Besides the fact that the hotel has toiletries.
yeah, hotel has them.
So one thing that so for a lot of people out there that are like me that have to wear the same cosplay all weekend, one thing you can do to help make sure you don't smell like you just jumped inside of the porta potty, inside the actual part of the porta potty where all the shit and piss is they sell this like Lysol or whatever carpet cleaner that's supposed to clean fabric. It's like for the carpet because it gets germs and shit like that out of the carpet. You can actually use that for some cosplays to help it not smell like ass. That's what I use for my poncho and sombrero, and it'll actually smell like Febreze, and it actually works, especially like if you're like me and you sweat a lot because you're wearing like 4 layers of Mexican goodness. Poncho, sombrero, luchador mask. You got to carry around a boombox blasting Selena.
Oh my god, my friend John. Oh, John knows what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me finish this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and finish your story.
Yeah, so basically, he's like, well, I have like some body wash. Why don't you just use that? And he says, no, I'm gonna smell like a girl because it was like, I guess like a nice flowery scent. And I was like, okay. So next time we went to a con, I actually went to Bath and Body Works and got like, like dark woods, men's shampoo / body wash or like ocean scent, and these are like manly scents. So I was like, okay, so I got some of these scents. I was like, all right, so like if he forgets, I have them right here, so he can use them. So next time we went to a convention, he's already smelling, so like he was even smelling before the convention. And then when it was nighttime, and he wasn't even taking off his cosplay, he was gonna wear the same cosplay again. And I was like, oh, hey, I have some shampoos and conditioners and body wash if you want to use them. And they're manly scents. They smell really good. And he's like, no, I already took a shower. And I'm like when?
Last week?
He's like, oh, I took a shower on Tuesday. What is Friday night? It's Friday fucking night. Bad.
No, it's bad because at one of the cons where you were there with him,
And Abbott wanted to open up the state.
yeah,
I just like, I don't know why he doesn't want to take showers, and I don't know if I have no idea why. It's just a thing with him. And then after that, I was like, okay, you know what? No more. He is no longer going to stay in the same room because he will stink up the room. And I try to be reasonable, and it's just like, at the point you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. You're trying to be nice about it. I actually bought, like, these body wash just for him so he can, like, just, like, here, you don't have to pay extra for money for showers or anything. You could take as long as you want, buddy. Didn't
oh my god, the comments on YouTube are priceless.
The comments are great.
Somebody said what he did that
I'm not even
days
joking.
prior to that just to let his must stay natural.
It was really bad. And the only reason I'm no longer his friend because this is the same person who was apparently telling other people that we were together, that we were married even. I didn't even know this until like years later, and I was like, oh, so that's why like nobody was like asking me out or stuff because he was cock-blocking me.
Yeah, no, for real. Because I had asked him about you too. I had asked him, hey, she is really cute. Is she single? No, man, we're kind of together. Oh, okay, yeah. So she was like, so she doesn't have what, nostrils or something?
Kind of.
No, because we pissed him off.
Yeah.
We pissed him off because one day we were at Onicon and you were like walking down the hall with him, but we couldn't see you yet. And I was with Trunks, and I'm like, I stop, I'm like, sniffing around. I'm like, hey, homeboy's coming around the corner in just a minute. He's like, no way. How do you know that? Watch. And then he's like,
What?
oh my God, yeah, I smell him too. And sure enough, here he comes with you walking down the hallway. And he got mad because he's like, yeah, I like to intimidate people. I'm like, dude. And I told him straight up, like, dude, I'm like not trying to sound like an asshole or anything, but I'm going to tell you straight up, you need to put on some deodorant because I'm about to start crying.
Yeah, he just didn't like to take showers. And it's just like you want to help a friend out. It's like, hey, you need to take a shower, be an adult or something. And he just didn't. And a lot of it's more than that than his stench, because he had a shitty personality later on, and that's when like the whole group had I would say not a fallout. He just had this bad nasty attitude about himself, and then it's just like it's one thing about the smell, it's another thing about his shitty attitude, and then he just defriended everybody. Like all of a sudden, and then he's on Facebook, and apparently he's been trash talking about me and everybody else, wanting to fight people, and we're just like, whoa, what happened? Like we don't know what happened. Why we're also everybody, and it's so much because he's trash talking about me. He's like, yeah,
God damn it.
Me, so I had no idea what was going on.
Saki,
so I'm like, yeah.
Saki Kitty, you need to look at the comments.
What? I don't want to sound like that.
Great.
Like what? Oh, Brian!
I think it's not so much the fact that he was struggling from smell, because there are some people who do have a stronger and more horrible natural body odor. And I think it's, for me, the fact that he wasn't even trying to take care of himself. Like, it'd be one thing if he was taking a shower every day, putting on deodorant.
Well, no, there's a difference between sweat body odor and underarm body odor, because it's the germ, because it's all germs. The odor is bacteria and germs and all that stuff. So different bacteria have different it's kind of like whenever you walk outside and you can smell it's about to rain. Or at least I can. I can smell food. I've walked into stranger hotel rooms. I didn't even.
I know what you mean, but it's
hey, y'all got pizza?
You're gonna cry.
Yeah, no, I was physically about to start crying. He wouldn't make eye contact with me. He's like, "Are you okay, man?" Yeah.
And the weird part is he did take showers, and when he did take showers, he smelled nice. He didn't smell terrible. So it was just him now.
Oh my God!
What?
Freaking Pika! Go look at the comments again, Saki Kitty.
I'm on a roll tonight.
Okay, all right. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but you sound like one. Oh my God! I love
the pig pen.
The penguin
from the Peanuts cartoon. The dirty kid from the Charlie Brown cartoon.
Pig pen. The dirty kid.
The dirty kid.
Oh my God! I don't think you can hear me.
Dude,
let me put it to you like this. We're not gonna say his name, and we doubt a lot of people in the comment section have met him. But let me put it to you like this: he smelled so bad he made onions cry. He's the kind of guy that he stinks so bad he has to treat over the phone.
Natural scent and caramelized onion.
So the story gets even better, or just more interesting. So he defriended everybody. And we're just like, dude, whatever, you do you. We just don't care anymore about your shitty shitty games and your shittiness. We're tired of your fucking attitude, so I don't give a care. And he acts like, oh, I don't need you. I have friends, blah blah blah. Fuck you guys. And then he was claiming he was gonna go around. I'm gonna go to different cons and expand my horizon. And then he just literally stopped going to cons, and it was because we were the ones that were taking him to cons, picking him up, dropping him home, helping him with tickets. Sometimes he didn't have money, so we're like, hey, we'll buy the ticket. You could just help with the hotel. And we paid for some of his food. Sometimes it was just simple sandwiches. I mean, we were his friends. We were just helping him have a good time. And that was just thrown out the window. And we're like, fuck you, dude. And 2 years later, he messaged me, and then he's like, "Hey, I know we haven't talked in a while,
Shit.
you know." And I was just like, "Oh, we're gonna play this game, right?" It's like I was like, I know we haven't talked in a while, but I just want to say, you know, like, I'm sorry for maybe hurting your feelings. I'm like, bitch, you started to call me out as a slut, like you meant to hurt my feelings. That
What
wasn't
an
like
asshole.
accidents. Like I may have accidentally hurt your feelings. I'm like, no, you did. You're an asshole. And I actually helped him make costumes and stuff, and he never gave me any credit
Oh
for
my god,
any
the
of it.
fucking comments.
He was a fucking asshole.
No,
But anyway,
they now they're asking, do his friends have noses? And then Pika replied, apparently not. Big red
No.
flag. His friends are all Voldemort.
Avada Kedavra.
No, I've had to.
so
so
I'm a Slytherin.
I mean, it's not like he would always tell everybody, oh yeah, we're dating, we're a thing, we
Yeah,
do
he
this,
told
we
us
do that, and so like
everything.
and he was
That wasn't true.
douchey to everybody, and he was like a big asshole to us all, and like like that's the main reason why nobody would like hit on you. It was like, oh,
It's like he was an asshole.
we didn't believe it at the same time, but y'all did a lot of like he would always post pictures of y'all together.
Yeah, that's what he did. That's what 2 years later he like when we were not talking, all of a sudden he's like, hey, just wondering if we could be friends again or talk or whatever. And I just never responded. And apparently he did that to only the women. Because, like, he told that to my friend Leslie and apparently, like, Lauren and me and maybe Janae. But he just messaged all the girls. He didn't message the guys and apologize of his shitty behavior. Just the females. And then next thing I know, I was being tagged in an Instagram post. Apparently he made an Instagram account and then immediately started to post pictures of me and him and saying, like, hey, you know, this is Saki Kitty. We're like best friends. And we're awesome cosplayers together. And I was like, and at the time I had a lot of followers, and he was trying to tag me to get people to follow him and stuff. So he was just kind of like, it felt like he was just using me for like likes and everything and to get his cosplay up. And I was just like, what the hell? So I actually had to get rid of that tag, and then I blocked him. And then he made a new account saying, oh, somebody hacked his account all of a sudden, and made a new account and started to follow me. And then I just went on a blocking like tangent, and I blocked like 4 or 5 accounts on Instagram, and then 4 Facebook's accounts, and then on
playing around.
on Twitter blocked him. I just blocked anybody that shared his name or looked like him. I was like, I'm not fucking playing around. I want nothing to do with him whatsoever.
That's some super creep behavior, though.
Did I ever tell you?
And he was getting angry. He was asking, like, how come Nikki's not letting me, like, into her life or talking to her or wanting to know.
He
I was like, no, I don't.
Stuff like that.
It was weird.
But I want to say this. Did I ever tell you the reason why he stopped? The reason why he stopped, like he unfriended me.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Hunter? Hunter's commenting for the first time ever in one of our podcasts. Welcome. And we also have Necro from YouTube who commented. New commenters. We like to address new commenters. He unfriended me because he posted this Facebook. He unfriended me because he posted this Facebook status update, and he's like, "Oh, I always like to like run up to people's faces and tell them hi to intimidate them." Like he was trying to make himself sound intimidating and like a badass. Like people don't like me. I always like to run up to their face real close and be like hi and smile on their face so I can intimidate them. And I commented, "Dude, you're not intimidating at all. You're like a fluffy teddy bear." And he got mad.
He wanted to put like a persona about himself.
He wanted to be like a real life Cloud.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that basically it. Yeah,
like,
it was pretty crazy of like his
real life joke, real life stinky joke.
He flips. He's like a light switch. He goes on and off of his like mood swings. And there's a couple of times like he will cuss some of the females out in our group, and then go around and say, oh, I don't remember that. So if I don't remember, it never happened.
Oh my
And we're
god.
like, no, there was
Oh,
like
he's one of those
witnesses.
guys.
Yeah, I was like,
I've heard
dude,
that
there was
before.
witnesses of this because of your attitude. Like, you can't say, well, I don't remember, so I guess I'm sorry for something that never happened. You shouldn't really get offended by it. And I'm like, what? Just because, like, you just technically forgot.
Wow.
It was weird. Very, very weird, you know? I was like, no wonder he doesn't have a lot of friends right now, because a lot of people went on his side, I guess, when the fight happened, you know, because he was trying to, like, get people to, like, hate me. And then, year later, he started to lose more and more friends, defriended more and more people, to the point where he
They were
just
saying who he actually
never
was.
had it more. Yeah, people were like, oh, what's going on, you know? But I haven't seen him at cons for a while, you know, so I know he kind of stopped going to conventions. It's probably because, like, we were the ones that took him to conventions, and, you know, we're no longer friends.
Yeah, no. Well, because anyone that was willing to take him anywhere, he cut off or kicked to the curb or whatever. We're gonna go ahead and change the subject, though. We're gonna talk about something else. Let's talk about how Pika's on a roll on here. Blastoid says Pika's a chef because she out here roasting people. LOL. How does saying hi up close to people make you intimidated? Because we all know Cloud's totally outgoing and wanting to get in people's faces. Nah, that's more of a Barrett. And I mean, he forgets to shower, right? Who's to say what else he forgot? I
Yeah.
mean, there are a lot of people that smell bad after a while, and some people don't actually. And that's why we're gonna do a podcast on that, because there are legitimately people that will go to a con that can barely pay their rent. They'll go to a con. They don't have a hotel. They barely had enough for a badge. They don't have enough to eat for the weekend. They're literally living off of sugar packets and water.
I've done that.
Jesus.
I'm guilty. I can't.
I'm like,
do it.
I never done that before.
Yeah, I know. I've done that too.
Yeah.
We've all done that. But we all did it like when we were like new to it,
Yeah.
like when we were obsessed with cons.
I remember when I started to go to conventions, I went to, like, every single convention. Now I only pick the good ones. You know, I'm not going to spend money on.
I don't even go to the I'll go to a convention as long as my panels are approved. If my panels are not approved, I will not go. Do I have panels? No, I ain't going. But Goku, you help draw a crowd. Then give me a panel. So I don't want to go there and just sit in my hotel room the whole weekend.
I remember talking about, like, should cosplayers or guests get paid to go to conventions? And I'm like, you have to pay for something other than the ticket. You know, some conventions are starting not to even do that now. You know, I was like, look, if I'm doing, like, 3 panels or even 2, I should get, like, at least a ticket. You know, because it takes a lot of time and effort to do that. Because
Y'all are having trouble with that? I've never up here in this area, the cosplay, for the most part, the cosplay guests all get tickets in hotels, like hotel rooms, because they're guests of honor.
I
at the
never
very
got
least,
a hotel room.
yeah, like for Anime Dallas, we give them hotel rooms.
Oh, well, I should go to Anime Dallas then. Nope, not for me. You're a voice actor, so you're special. You're very, like, nobody.
Well, most cons don't. Most cons don't even give you. A lot of cons are starting to not give badges out anymore to panelists.
Yeah, you're cutting back on badges, so we're not even getting that sometimes.
And I can kind of see why, because a lot of
They're
panelists.
just discounts.
Well, it's because the problems with panels is this: there's too many rinse and repeat panels. There's too many. Oh, ask a Hitaya cosplayer, or ask a Homestuck cosplayer, or ask a Steven Universe cosplayer, or and most of these panels, you have the cosplayers there sitting at a table, and the audience will ask them questions, and the questions are legitimately always about their sexual orientation. I don't like those panels. I hate those panels. And too many of the events directors will approve panels that they like. Like, oh, that's why at one con, I'm not going to say the con's name, Anime CTX. They got a lot better. But we talked to them. We talked to the people in charge, and, like, you know, we hosted panels here one year, and it was so bad that we decided never to come back. because the way they treated us and yada yada yada, and the new events director was like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm so sorry. Like that person was always picking their friends and picking stuff that they liked, and like I guess because y'all didn't have a bad because the vice con chair of one of the conventions I worked with told me that events coordinator gave us a bad rep." And they like monitored us and they watched us and they said, "Dude, your group's not bad at all. You guys are entertaining. You guys are interactive. You guys aren't just in the panels doing stuff. You're at the con doing stuff, and you're like always like getting people hyped." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what we do. We hype people up." And so when we worked with them again, we had a much greater experience. It was an amazing experience. And I think one of the problems with a lot of cons is that there are a lot of staff members that want their friends and what they like, because at one of the cons that we work with in Houston, and there's only a few in Houston now, they have been reducing the amount of panels that we have, because sometimes we have issues, especially at our adult panel, where someone in our comment section puked in the back room.
I remember that. That was funny.
And that had nothing to do with us. That had nothing to do with our panel. It was just, but the panel was shut down because
Aww.
they took him to the back. You know who it is, Saki Kitty, I think.
I do?
Yes.
Wait.
Yeah, you do.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because he was he was in my room that night, puking in the bathroom.
Oh, I think I know who.
Yeah, we gave him a bar of soap because guess what? He hadn't showered either, and he was very stinky.
Yeah, he was very stinky. That's because he sweats a lot during the day.
I sweat a lot.
Dot.
Like everybody says this right. It's like if you sweat a lot, it's okay to take 2 showers. It's like
no,
whenever
whenever you sweat a lot and you start drinking, it's over. You might as well embrace the stinkiness.
I have some drunken stories.
No, but
I
like,
have some a lot.
I mean, with panels, the way it works is, too many people are like, it's kind of like the versus panels. People don't understand them at first, because if I explain a versus panel, and you've never been to one, you probably wouldn't understand what it is either. It's like, okay, what is a versus panel? Is it like a death battle? No, it's a trash talking open mic panel where fandoms come up and they badmouth the other fandom. And people are like, wait, what?
Just trash talk.
Like, what do you mean open mic? Like, no, because I'll have questions like, what do you mean by open mic? Like, yeah, you come up and you badmouth the other fandom. You tell us why your fandom's better.
Oh my gosh.
And people are afraid because the audience, they're afraid at first, but once somebody breaks the ice, people have so much to say.
Yeah, people are afraid of confrontation, man. They're just afraid of it.
Yeah, but like our panels have always been, we try to be innovative with our panels. That's why our dating game, I believe, and a lot of people that have been to our dating game agree with me. Our dating game is second to none. There isn't another dating game that could match ours. Not in this country, not in this life.
I've been to them. They're fun.
And they get insane. They are insane. 17's here. They are insane.
Hey.
We have the competitions after the contestants are picked, and that shit is amazingly. And it's so like, it's very we treat it like a show. The way I treat it like a WWE show. The audience has to be involved, and it's just a show for shits and giggles. So I treat all of my panels like a show. I understand that I'm here to entertain y'all. This is going to be a show. I don't like to do lecture panels. I'll do like a Dragon Ball lecture panel, but I also like make fun of it. Like, oh, Dragon Ball Z Kai, Kakarot. Hey, look, Vegeta. Nerds. Vegeta.
What I do is like mainly for like props, making things and stuff like that. And sometimes I do get like a pretty good crowd, you know. But I'm trying to see if I was planning to do panels this year. It's, you know, of course, you know, because of White Claw, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna fucking risk it. But I was actually doing panels for like LEDs and making like props, light up props, because I focus on that. I have some of my props here. See if I can bring it.
Let me show off my props.
Let me show off my props.
No big deal. No big deal.
Here we go. Like, this is like, I
You
made
made
this.
Astrid's axe?
Yeah, I did Astrid.
Oh.
I did Astrid last year, and I made this like in a week. Like it was like a week before the con. Maybe even less. I'm like, I didn't fucking make it. So like googly eyes, but like yeah, I made her axe. I did this like really, really fucking quick.
Yeah, well, mine ended up being like 6.5 feet tall. It was like taller than me.
Like, I don't know. It's like this. I'm short as hell, by the way. So it's like right here. I wanted to axe, and it's really light. It's surprisingly light for a weapon.
You
But
could
it
almost
didn't-
say it's fun size.
It's fun size.
Yeah, you could. It's fun sized.
I have other like I should do a podcast or something. Just like I have several weapons. I have a skull. I have 3 different types of staffs. I have weapons. Some of the weapons I have and don't have because some of them I just like threw out because I don't cosplay those characters anymore. So it's just like not a big deal. And plus they're like out of season, because sometimes you have like, who wants to buy a fucking axe, so it happens. But yeah, I love this axe. It's really fun to wear or to have and everything. But now I was focusing on Has-Been Hotel, so I'm making stuff from Has-Been Hotel. I'm making Alistair's little mic thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I'm gonna see if I can make the eye move. I always try to challenge myself in like making shit.
I'm thinking. I like your panels. I really do. They're just like I can't. And like the thing is, I like when you host your panels because I could never do panels like those.
Oh yeah.
I
can have.
at the same time, and I'm so sorry, but I could never attend any of your panels.
No, I mean like my panels are mainly for crafters, and like some people are not crafty. Like that's okay, Like I mean, there's some panels I would like to do about like problems in the cosplay community, especially ones who like fake it till you make it type of deals, and how, like I said a couple of times, of how conventions could try to prevent that. Because if they just do some research or say, hey, do you have like pictures of your progress so that we know that you can make
that's exactly what they do.
Like because like if you go to like Instagram /SakiKitty, I post up everything that I make. So there's like no question of if I made it or not, because you literally see all the step-by-step process of like how I make my items. And even then, like some people criticize me. It's like, you didn't make that. I'm like, bitch, really? Like there's like 200 pictures.
Right?
It's just like I have a lot of pictures of like what I have done. I do commissions as well too, so I sometimes like do commissions and make stuff. Oh, here's one. Let's see if I could. This is the person who picture is Vodka Photos. He's an awesome photographer, by the way. So if you ever follow him, go to Vodka Photos.
I heard vodka.
Vodka Photos. Vodka, like the drink.
That's not a drink.
Oh, I'm not a drink. I can be, but yeah.
And then in our Facebook Messenger group, I sent you a picture of my battle axe. You definitely did her a lot better, because I made the axe and the whole cosplay in like a week. I was like, her headband was just a piece of pleather I cut out and just a safety pin to the wig.
Hey, you did a good job. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty good. Yeah, well, I did mine out of real leather.
Oh yeah, no.
I
Yeah,
do leather work for fun, so that's what I did. But yeah, I had to learn how to do quilting because of her outfit, because her red vest is actually like a quilting technique. So I had to learn how to do that, and that was like that vest took a lot more time than anything else. Like everything else I did really quickly. That was so detailed. It's not even funny about how detailed that was. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself?
Accuracy?
That's right.
I did a
Can't help it
lot.
sometimes.
I think I find more.
Okay, so Dee Dee says my parents called what I missed. You missed a lot.
Yeah, you miss a lot of good jokes, a lot of burns.
A lot of
Like Pico over there.
burns. So real quick, what do y'all want our subject to be
A lot
for
of Pico burn.
next Monday? Or were we gonna do being poor at a con?
Oh my
Being
gosh,
Porticon,
yeah.
the ghosters.
What is ghosting? What the fuck is ghosting? I keep hearing that phrase.
It's
What
when
the
you
fuck
go
is
to a
ghosting?
con and you don't buy a badge and you just walk around the halls.
Oh,
Yeah, you go to
okay.
all the free parts, or you borrow your friend's
I know a
badges to
couple
go
of people
inside the
doing
dealer's
that.
room.
We do that shit all the time
Yeah.
as panelists.
I'll be like, I'm not sorry. I am paying shit for
Well,
my.
that's fucked up to be doing as a panelist, because like they should be giving you passes in the first place.
Yeah, but they only give us panel drama. Yeah, we could do something like that. Panel drama.
Panel drama, yeah.
You know, we had
Well,
a
I had good smooth panels, but then I went to like really amazing cons. I went to like Haven Con, and I went to like Delta Age, and they always treat me very nicely. So I can't say
we'll
anything
do
bad.
panel and party drama.
Oh man, I've got some party drama things
I have
too.
some good stories and some crazy
Oh,
stories.
you know what? We'll just do drama. Con drama. Con drama.
Con drama. All right, I'm down with that.
I'm good with drama. We could just do
That's
con
good.
drama or some shit.
My friend's messaging me over here. I'm trying to like
I have
tell
my
him I'm
friends
doing a
that-
podcast.
They're like, one was like, it's like, do you have any creeper stories of coming up to you and trying to look up with you? I was like, I think I have like a few. I remembered like, I think was it out Delta Age? I had a couple of guys that would like come up and they'll ask like raunchy type of questions. And I was like doing like, I was handing out pamphlets. I was helping out another con since I was going to be a guest, and I was handing out pamphlets. And then like there were some creeper dudes that were trying to like ask for my number. I was dressed up as a black cat, you know, so it left nothing much to the imagination of what I was wearing. But yeah, I look good in that cosplay, but I hate wearing it just because of like it draws so much attention. I just didn't like it at that point. I was like, I don't want to wear it anymore. A lot of like people killed that for me.
Okay, so a lot of people are.
Yeah, no, that's kind of. I find that
I've
really
already
sad.
gotten
It's
like
you know,
8
you put in a lot of
messages.
effort into these things.
I want to put this
Yeah.
out there real quick. I've already gotten like 10 messages tonight about being on the podcast in future podcasts. So the way it works is this: you have to be invited or you have to be requested to be on the podcast. Because right now we're actually really booked. We have a DJ coming on this week. I'm working with other bands. They're gonna promote their work. Jen is a voice actress that was here on Saturday. And obviously, Senor Oliver and Saki Kitty were our hosts, because when you do a podcast, I have trouble doing it by myself to help keep the conversation going. So I always invite a guest, and I like to have
Yeah, absolutely, it
other
happens.
perspectives, not just my own, because as I'm doing as I'm right here doing the producer stuff, so I got all this shit in front of me. I got 2 different screens in front of me, so I'm attending to the OVS studio, and I'm also attending to the social media over here on my tower. So it just like, and the reason why we have the comment section is so people can be a part of the podcast. That way you can be a part of it like that. But like, I mean, it's really difficult to get on the podcast now because we are kind of booked for the next month or so. And we have people like, we have a waiting list right now. So like, don't take it personally if we don't let you be on the podcast. Like, and
It's not we don't like you.
no, it's not that I don't like you. It's just that I already have people lined up. And there is a waiting list. So when one person drops, the next person on that list is, unless like we specifically invite you. And we've only invited like 4 people. And they were a DJ, a voice actress, and a couple of other big cosplayers. We've had a few people that were requested by the audience. Like Blastoids was a request. We had a lot of people ask for him to be on the podcast. So he's going to be on the podcast. And we bumped his podcast up because the other cosplayers that I'm talking to can't be on it this week, so we bumped him up and we moved them back. So that's how that works as far as that goes. So just don't take it personally. I am trying my best to, like, because I'm taking this seriously now, like a business. Like before, we just let anyone. We were so unprofessional. We just had fun with it. We did it at whatever time because it was pre-recorded, so we did it whenever. We didn't have a schedule. We didn't have a set time. We would just record it and I would just upload it and that was the end of it. But now we have, since it's live, we get your input, we get your comments, we see what you're sharing. We have brand ambassadors now. We have a schedule. We try to maintain the schedule.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Sometimes we're busy. Yeah.
So if you want to be on the podcast, start a bunch of drama for next week and you'll be featured.
I mean, that's kind of hard. I mean, there's no conventions going on. Like, you can't make a fool of yourself within this point to next week.
Oh,
there's no place to do it.
Oh no, trust me. Yeah, no, there are. You can make a fool of yourself. Trust me, there are ways.
You can't stop stupid. You can't stop stupid.
I mean, let's look at the situation we're on now. Like, you can't stop.
And don't get me wrong, people. I'm no saint.
I've been a stupid one before. So.
I'm no saint. I'm dumb too. I've done really dumb shit. Like I said, I've got into a fist fight with a porta potty, and I lost.
I lost.
I lost.
I wasn't expecting you to have lost.
So, okay. So one thing about our group is we have code words for everything. Alcohol, whenever we're at the con, hey man, instead of saying alcohol, we say, hey, we're going to go drink some milk. For like marijuana or other stuff like that. Acid, we say
no drugs,
vitamins.
Drugs are bad, people.
We don't say, yeah, bads are bad. Bads are bad. Drugs are bad. But we call them vitamins. Hey man, we're going to go do some vitamins in the room.
What, E or A?
We're going to go do some vitamins. Oh, hey. And then like we have vitamins. We're going to go reach our, like we're going to go eat. So we don't have a code for that. We're just going to go get some food. And then what's up? Wait, somebody said Goku. Oh, another one is like since most of our groups are like 4 or 5 guys and like 2 girls, and most of the guys in our group are single, they always want to like party and invite girls back. So instead of saying, "Hey, go find some girls and invite them back," because we don't. Whenever we start planning stuff, we're always in the con floor planning this stuff out. So I'm like, "Hey," I even said this. I'm like, "Jerry, Rock," and they both look up. Go hunt. And they got up and went to go invite.
That's a terrible word. Go hunting.
Our catchphrase is "Go hunt for deer."
Go hunt for some deer.
Yeah, go hunt for some deer.
That's terrible.
I know, we're terrible people.
I shouldn't be laughing.
Because
Okay. Be serious.
Because you know,
they don't have to.
as soon as I said go hunt, they jumped out of the bed and ran down to the con.
I shouldn't be laughing.
You know you would join them. Saki Kitty, go hunt. She come back with like 5 different girls.
Oh, I can get women.
Just keep
And
it
it's not just girls. It's not specific to girls. It's also like if we have girls that want to meet a guy, like go hunt, go find a guy for them too.
It's like, don't clock back me. Fuck that shit.
Pussy plug.
Oh, no, I was going to say, Anime Matsuri
Pussy
Convention
plug.
is on live right now.
I don't want to hear what they have to say. Fuck Anime Matsuri. Is that why we lost some of our audience? Dude, I'm surprised. No, our audience is still going very strong. It's been strong this whole stream. Like,
Yeah, I know.
Why do they like this
I know.
talking shit? Like, we're going to talk shit today.
oh, you did? I don't have my phone. I have my phone, but I'm not checking it right now.
I'm sorry.
I'll check
I'll
it in a
be
minute. Let me see.
Yeah,
Let me
we're
check.
distracted. I'm so sorry.
No, I was referring because somebody sent me a private message on Facebook. And every time I get a private message, the alert goes off and you can hear it in the stream. And that actually annoys
Yeah, I
the
heard it
crap out of me.
earlier.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for real, man. I saw your text. Yeah, unfortunately, there are no Comic-Cons or anything going on this year, so we'll see what happens with that, especially with the whole White Claw virus thing going on. So Wednesday is Geeks 5 Hour podcast, and we will do. I think I have that DJ coming on here. We'll see. I'll let you know. I'll let you know later which one, because I gotta look at my messages again.
Am I going to be at that podcast, or are you going to have other people?
Y'all can be.
No, I'm just asking so I can be prepared. I don't know.
Yeah, for the most part, I think everyone here is welcome to join it. It's up to y'all.
Oh, I'm included.
Oh my god.
It's for fun. I want another female. I don't want to be like, please come. I don't want to be alone.
Oh, okay. Okay, he said he.
Please.
It's gonna be so nice.
Wait, you.
So nice. When
Miss.
all female podcast happens.
No, that's what I just checked. That's what I just checked my text. That's what I was referring to. I just looked at it right now. Thursday though, it is part 2 of our Anime Matsuri versus Delta H-Con series. I guess I will have to go watch that live stream, or anyone watching this can watch that and give me some bullet points to talk about. Because
I mean, I'm going to watch it. I mean, because they're gonna leave it on there most likely for like 24 hours, I guess.
Because I don't want to stare at Denise talk about, yeah, I work out and watch these animes. All right, who's the main character? Don't lie to me. I do not.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna talk about Inuyasha. Like that's kind of like I'm like the only person that doesn't give a shit about it.
No, Justin. Yeah, I look forward to hanging out again, man. I do really.
I don't know how to feel about that. I'm sorry, Saki.
I'm like, it's like Inuyasha, Kagome, Inuyasha, Kagome. I'm like,
Inuyasha,
Kagome,
Goku.
Not
Shrek, Rocky.
It's like It's like that video that guy made. Naruto, Sasuke, Naruto, Sasuke, Naruto, Sasuke, Goku. So
like for me, like Inuyasha is like a lot of people's starter animes, because I started watching anime, very young when I was probably in 3rd or 4th grade. It was Ronin Warriors, Sailor Moon, and Dragon Ball. Not Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball. Those were my 3 animes, so like every generation has like the anime that they started with. A lot of you have new ones that are liking My Hero Academia and also Demon Slayer, and so a lot of people who loved Inuyasha, and that was their starter anime. They're flipping balls right now for this new one that's coming out. They're just like fuck, they're excited. Like, they're flipping tables. That's what's happening right now. They're just flipping tables. They're like, fuck yes, Inuyasha.
All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap it up. We started at 7. It's been 3 hours and 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah, we need to leave.
Another long podcast.
I'm going to check out
It's very long, but because we started sooner and we were more prepared, it wasn't as
301 comments. Woof. Get in those
Nice.
last-second comments.
Keep commenting. Just say stupid shit.
Keep commenting.
No, don't listen to Saki Kitty.
Listen to me. What I'm saying.
Admins are asleep. Leave all the comments.
I have Ronin Warriors on DVD, by the way, the whole series.
Oh, I fucking hate you. I want that. I love, the dubbing and everything is probably really bad because it was done, in the 90s. The dubbing for Sailor Moon. I mean, I still love the dubbing for Sailor Moon because it's what I've grown up with, but I watch it again, I'm like, man, it is so corny. But, yes, Ronin, I haven't heard Ronin Warriors in a long time. Yes! Keep commenting.
By the way, Black Sonic, if you're doing Uber Eats again, please bring me food on Wednesday. No, not Wednesday.
Thursday.
Friday.
Right?
Bring me food Friday.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I need food Friday. Anyway, so any last comments before we go ahead and wrap it up? Our viewership is dying down. We're now down to 11. We were at 20 at one point, 20 something. Now we're winding down to 11. We can't compete with Matsuri. They got hundreds of people watching.
Boo.
Are they watching? Wait, I'm gonna check. Oh, fuck.
All right. So anything you want to say, Saki Kitty?
Keep on talking shit.
Oh, I love
Oh, and I'm
your
selling masks.
advertising, by the way. You're all like Geeks 5 Ever podcast.
Geeks 5 Ever.
With the freaking camera.
Just
Post.
like JoJo poses.
She's all
You know?
like, she's
Do
all like,
JoJo poses.
she's like sticking her chest in the camera, like, yep, Geeks 5 Ever podcast.
Okay, like, all right, I'm
Yeah,
watching
so, like,
a recorded live.
do that and stuff.
Everyone. Like,
Look,
trying
I'm-
to see what to
Oh my
Sorry about
god, this is stupid. Someone posted. I don't want to be political or anything, but someone posted a sign that says "God bows down to President Donald J. Trump, declares he is perfect." Trump 2020. Jesus Christ.
What are you doing here?
Oh my god, people are retarded. Anyways,
Anyway,
anything you want to say before we go ahead and call it a night?
I'm selling masks at Etsy, so etsy.com/shop/Saki Kitty Shop. I have masks. They're like $4 each. They're very cheap. I'm just trying to help the community. If you can, there's one that's like donate, so it's like $6. So you get a mask, and I will donate to an organization that needs masks. And so far, I had 2 people. Thank you guys. I'll probably post their names up, but they have donated masks. So thank you so much for trying to help the community.
Anything you want to say, Mr. Senor Oliver?
kind of just to quickly touch on the subject, I really think that there's the creeper problem with guys going after underage girls. That's something that I've come across and like really confronted in person. So I really feel that that's something the community really needs to tackle. Other than that, you'll have a good night.
Also, yeah, on that same note, guys, be careful because sometimes people lie about their age. Girls also be careful because guys will also lie about their age. Girls will lie about their age, so make sure you always, if they look like they're underage or if you can't tell for sure, if they don't buy alcohol in front of you, check ID.
Check IDs.
Yep.
And if they don't have one, they're too young.
Or they might be illegal. They
Very
might be
true. I
illegal.
didn't even think about that.
Like, you gotta protect yourself. I'm gonna tell you what.
Because I've
Protect
gotten out of the situation by using that excuse. You got an ID? Do I look like I have an ID, senor? Damn, just let him through. He's got a
Nope.
beer in
Go.
his hand.
Oh, it's amazing.
Okay, so any last words, Jen, the voice actress?
Yeah, sure. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube to subscribe, like.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you stealing my job for?
Because I'm endorsing your podcast, dummy.
You need to, this is a chance for you. But the closing comments are for you to like, hey,
Yes,
you can
yes,
also follow me at so and so
I'm
page.
getting there. I'm getting there. You can follow me on on Twitter. I believe it's Zion Fox Official or J Abishan VO if you care to try and spell it. Good luck. Or you can follow me on Instagram at Zion Fox. So,
Yeah. All right. So, all right. Thank you everybody that's commented or stayed this long or who just joined. Thank you for watching the podcast. On Wednesday, we have another podcast. Hopefully, I'll figure out who the guest is, but that podcast will be at 7 o'clock. We also have our Anime Matsuri versus Delta H-Con Part 2 Thursday at 7 p.m. Terrible fan fiction reading officially only on Fridays from now on at 8 p.m. Saturday is our Geeks 5 Ever podcast at 7. Hopefully we start on time this time. Sundays we have nothing going on. We definitely didn't do anything yesterday because of Mother's Day, but I think I'm going to give everybody a break. Like I want to give everybody like a day or two with no podcasting. Monday is once again we're going to talk about another subject, con drama. Monday's con drama, another podcast another trash talking podcast by Geeks 5 Ever. It's part of the original. It's part of our podcasting line, but it's pretty much where we pick subjects to talk shit about. You can check us out on Facebook.com/Geeks5Ever, also YouTube.com/Geeks5Ever, Twitch.tv/Geeks5Ever, and Instagram.com/Geeks5Ever. Our Twitch channel, or not our Twitch channel, I'm sorry, our TikTok is coming soon. Hopefully, Big Box Cosplay is still working out the details. They're planning out what kind of videos they're going to make, so they're working on that right now. We have an all-girl podcast coming soon. Hopefully, we'll have a full cast with that. We're going to have 4 hosts, and then we're going to start working on subjects for them to start talking about. That will also be live as far as the pandemic goes. But once the pandemic ends, since everybody will try to go back to normal lives, we'll start doing it pre-recorded. All the podcasts, once everything starts going back to normal, we don't know when that might be. That might be a year from now, months from now, days from now, or 2 years from now. Who knows? But for now, since people are stuck at home in their home more now, all of our podcasts are live. But we will adjust our schedule accordingly to meet everyone's their schedule as well. So, like I said, make sure you follow us on all social medias. No politics. Yeah, we don't really bring up politics. We also don't talk about religion on this channel. I am gonna start producing help produce other channels though. It's a religious geek nerd channel. I'm not gonna post what religion it is, but it is something that I'm going to be helping produce. I don't know if I'm gonna actually be on the channel, since I really don't like to talk about my religious beliefs. Like I said, we have a lot of projects coming up, so make sure you follow us, and we'll be back hopefully Wednesday with another podcast. All right, guys, I'm moving the wrong mouse. I'm over here trying to stop the stream.
Stop the stream!